I, Dr. Faisal Anwar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science, Aligarh Muslim University. Welcome all the participants in this technical session of Day 5 on cybersecurity and digital forensics. The speaker of today's session is Ms. Vijaya Tiwari, Executive Director, Tathya Wing Federation, Noida, UP. She will deliver her lecture on the topic, Detection of Cyber Threats through Digital Forensics. Let me introduce Ms. Vijaya Tiwari. She presently working as Executive Director with Tathya Wing Federation. She is the advisor and analyst to Cyber Forensic Science Unit of various districts in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. She completed her research work in forensic document analysis and also having practical training in handling with forensic documents from various reputed forensic science labs of India. She provides experts guidance. She provides experts guidance in solving different crime cases to various state police, law firms, detective agencies, and legal enforcement agencies. Till date, she has successfully completed more than 200 workshops for more than 50,000 students, parents, and teachers for various schools and colleges across the nation. She regularly conducts training programs on cybercrime investigation for police departments across the nation. She is also chief resource speaker for Tathya Forensic Wing Federation conference and seminars on cyber security awareness campaign for students, teachers, and parents to sensitize them about the types of cyber crimes, preventive measures to be taken while surfing the Internet, Information Technology Act, and the remedial measures that can be taken if one is victimized by the cyber criminals conducted by Tathya Forensic Wing Federation. I welcome our eminent speaker here in this online workshop. Before inviting our resource person, let me once again highlight some guidelines to our participants regarding the way that technical session will be conducted. The first session will be of 1 hour till 5 p.m. Then we will have a break of 10 minutes. The second session will start from 5:10 p.m. and will continue till 6 p.m. 15 minutes, that is from 6 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. will be reserved for question answer session. Our valedictory session will start from 6 p.m. onwards. Now it is over to Ms. Vijaya. Now you may start your presentation.
Thank you so much,
Vijaya.
Thank you so much, sir. A very good afternoon to our Honorable Vice Chancellor and all the honorable members. And a very good afternoon and my hi to all the students who are here today. Before I start my this session, I would like to introduce myself personally, ताकि थोड़ा बच्चों के साथ रूबरू हो जाएगा तो वे comfortable भी हो जाएंगे. मैं हूँ विजया तिवारी, मैं लखनऊ से हूँ originally, and I did my masters in forensic sciences from Allahabad Agriculture Institute University. And I'm a gold medalist. मैंने टॉप की थी यूनिवर्सिटी. Soon after that मैंने उत्तर प्रदेश forensic science laboratory में training ली. And soon after getting married, I started my work at Rajasthan since I got married over here. Forensic science seems to be my passion because मेरे को forensic science subject अच्छा ही इसलिए लगता है क्योंकि ये एक normal science नहीं, it is a common science for a common sense people. हम अपनी डे टू डे लाइफ में अगर बहुत ही अलर्ट होकर जीना चाहते हैं और एज अ लाइक अ वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन जीना चाहते हैं तो हम सबको फोरेंसिक साइंस एज अ करिकुलम जानना चाहिए. आई मीन दिस साइंस इज जस्ट नॉट फॉर अ डिग्री सेक, इट इज फॉर आवर लाइक सेफ्टी एंड इट इज अ नेसेसिटी दीस डेज.
Just sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is very low actually.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay. I'll bring the speaker quite near to me in that case. Okay. Let's start the session. I'm assuming that our previous speakers उन्होंने आपको साइबर क्राइम और डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ साइबर क्राइम के बारे में सब कुछ बताया होगा, बट स्टिल मैं थोड़ा सा एक इंट्रोडक्शन लेके आई विल स्टार्ट विद चीजें. तो साइबर क्राइम को अगर हम समझना चाहें तो इट इज एन अ ग्लोबल फेनोमेना. ये एक मतलब इसकी कोई बाउंड्रीज नहीं है, ये पूरे वर्ल्ड वाइड एक ऐसी पैंडेमिक या चीज है जिसने अपनी आपकी निजी जिंदगी, आपकी प्राइवेसी एंड सिक्योरिटी को हैम्पर किया है. Countries around the world, they are very keen to upgrade their security levels, whether it is about industrial companies, whether it is about digitalization. They are really keen to, keep themselves economically sound and cybercrime wise sound. Then countries around the world are keen on upgrading their technology in order to become more and more powerful. और इकोनॉमिकली और सोशली भी वो बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेंथन अपने को करना चाहते हैं. सो टेक्नोलॉजी ने चेंज कर दिया है. इट हैज रियली चेंज द वे वी थिंक, द वे वी डू आवर थिंग्स. हम कोरोना का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. जब से कोरोना आया है तो हम हाइजीन के टुवर्ड्स बढ़े हैं, तो वी प्रेफर कैशलेस इकोनॉमी. और जैसी कैशलेस इकोनॉमी आती है तो फिर आपका डिजिटलाइजेशन में जितने भी डिजिटल वो आते हैं तो सारे फ्रॉड्स आ जाते हैं. स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम योर वैक्सीन, हमें वैक्सीन का स्लॉट बुक करना है तो हम उसमें निर्भर हैं अपने ओटीपीज पे और इन सब चीजों पे. एवरीबडी इज नॉट दैट अवेयर द वे वी आर. हम जो बहुत ही फॉर्चुनेट इनफ है, जो एजुकेटेड क्लास से आते हैं या जिनके आसपास एजुकेटेड लोग हैं, दे आर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ कि उनको ये सारी चीजें पता हैं. बट व्हाट अबाउट दोज पीपल जिनको इन सब चीजों की बिल्कुल अवेयरनेस नहीं है, जो अपना ओटीपी बुक करने के लिए और अपना वैक्सीनेशन स्लॉट बुक करने के लिए फिशिंग अटैक्स का वो बन जाते हैं. So this crimes are no exception in this thing. While we think ki people use technology made by most intelligent brains in the field, there are equally intelligent, or you can see one step ahead, intellectual criminals who use their mind, technical power to outstrip all the security barriers. They are very much sound और वो अच्छे से जानते हैं कि कहाँ पे vulnerability है, कहाँ पे उनको वो मिलेगा. So cyber criminal is criminal activity that either targets use a computer network or a network device. Most, but all the cyber crime is committed by cyber criminals or hackers. Now hackers को भी हम समझना चाहेंगे. Hackers भी कई तरीके के होते हैं. White hat hackers, blue hat hackers, grey hat hackers और scripties और freakers, ये सारे होते हैं. Then some cyber criminals are organized. They use advanced techniques and highly technical skilled. Other than जो हमारे ये blue hat hackers होते हैं जिनको कंपनी अपॉइंट करती है vulnerability चेक करने के लिए, वो उनसे भी आगे होते हैं. Then computer can be a target or computer can be a tool also. It can goes both the way. Then all the way in which computer and types of portable electronic devices such as आपका cell phone, PDA, जो भी devices which are capable of getting compatible with the internet, those can be a major weapon for your cybercrime. Now let us all understand and get into a depth what is the cause of cybercrime. Cyber criminals के क्या मानसिक स्थिति है? What is their like thinking process? It's a triangle which runs after opportunity, pressure or need, and rationalization. Every cyber criminal always looks for an opportunity. He is always in search of opportunity where he can commit a crime. Then and why he is searching an opportunity? There is pressure. Pressure can be a peer pressure to show something, like to show people that no, I am very superior, or need, if he's financially weak or if he wants to get into the run of getting richer and technically sound, so it can be need. And then rationalization is self proclamation, अपने खुद को समझाना और जस्टिफाई करना कि ये चीज मैंने इसलिए की, ये जरूरत थी. सो मेन कॉज अगर हम समझना चाहेंगे तो if we understand this triangle, we will always understand what is the cause. So this eventually this triangle becomes an important part to understand, an important component to understand why a cyber criminal is committing a crime. Then there is one more thing, that money is static and for one-time use, whereas data, it can be used multiple times for multiple benefits. Criminals can use it for identity theft, they can use it for cyber stalking, they can use it for phishing, or for blackmailing. They can use it in so many terms. So this way cybercrime becomes more complicated. And then these days, criminals have moved from gun and knives to now these, data, and to bits and bytes, looting bank account details, and then, running after your personal data and getting into your privacy, getting into your confidential codes. So this way, the cybercrime urge has increased due to all these reasons. Now, what are the most important reason if we try to focus on why these cyber criminals go for the cybercrime? First of all, they want to show technological supremacy. The moment these days, we as a team, when we were studying, then whenever our cybercrime workshop used to be there, we used to hype about ourselves. The moment we used to get in touch with, this is the way we can hack, yeah, this is the way we can get into others' profile. So what we used to did, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम अपने रिलेटिव्स की और अपने ना घर वालों की प्रोफाइल में पीप इन करने की कोशिश किया करते थे, एंड वी यूज टू फील वेरी सुपीरियर. सो दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन विच इज वेरी कॉमन ऑल्सो. एंड हमने हर किसी ने हमने में से सबने इस चीज को महसूस भी किया होगा. देन ग्रीड फॉर मनी. People, students, you may say, yeah, youth, yeah, many other people, they look for shortcut of earning money. They want money, in just snips and this fingers also. The greed for money make them commit this crime. Then there are few people who have, thirst for publicity. They want recognition. So what they think, if they are going to uh, lead towards, the channel to buy these means, then it will be like they will be in publicity and they will get all due attention, which they creep for and crap for. Then there are few, from children. If we try to understand criminal behavior now, all these instincts come from very childhood. Very much depends upon your atmosphere where you have your upbringing has been done, what sort of pressure was on you. So few students, a few people are very inquisitive in nature. They want to know everything. They want to learn and they want to experiment. I mean, there is no borderline for them. Like we draw a line, okay, nahi, iske baad hum aisa nahi karenge. But those people are very inquisitive and they are very daring as well. This is the reason why they never draw a line also. Then there is a psychological urge to explore new things, to explore behind what is the things are forbidden. तो जैसे बचपन में हमारा एटीट्यूड नहीं होता है, we are asked not to do the thing, हम उस पे सबसे जाते हैं. हमें जैसे बोला जाता है, बचपन में हुआ है या आज भी हुआ है, जब हमारे पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कि नहीं इधर नहीं जाना है, तो हमारा जो एक अर्ज होती है ना इंक्विजिटिव, वो कहती नहीं एक बार तो करके देखें, ऐसे मना क्यों किया. So these all are the psychological factors which make cyber criminals more towards the crime and all. Then there are people who have a destructive mentality. I mean, out of curiosity or inquisitiveness to side ho gayi, these are psychological urges. But जो behavioral एक होता है negativity, destructive mental approach, and ये सब urge होती हैं to commit a cyber crime. And nevertheless, सबसे ज्यादा important जो होता है वो है vulnerability. Vulnerability you can understand loopholes. जो भी हम आज डिजिटल इंडिया में जी रहे हैं, and whatever softwares we are using, whatever technology we are using, definitely they come with a loophole, and these loophole act as a very most important component to attack and to urge or opportunity, you can say, for cyber criminals to commit crime. Then what are different types of hackers? White hat hackers, black, gray, blue, script. They might sound colors to you, but let me explain these hackers. White hat hackers are hackers who are very technically sound, and they use their hacking skills for good purpose. They are hired by good companies, and they always try to troubleshoot the problems created by criminals and bad hackers. Then black hat hackers. These hackers are like white hat hackers. They get into your system with permission, of course, so they do it for good purpose. And these black hat hackers, they are accessing your privacy. They are accessing your data without permission, as the name suggests, blacks. Then gray hackers. Gray hackers are they lie between white and black. Why in between? Because neither they do it for good purpose nor they are criminals. They are negotiators. I mean, they are going to see that where is the opportunity. they try to tell you the vulnerability and they'll try to negotiate that vulnerability कि देखो ये problem है आपके इसमें, if you want solution we can be a great help to you, and this way they'll try to help you out, and this way they becomes a gray hacker. Then blue hackers are a completely those hackers which are hired by company itself to find out the vulnerabilities and loopholes before or after launching any software is done. It is a like basic responsibility of a software developer to test the vulnerabilities, because before they are like selling it to vendor, or if they are giving it to you know to this people for using it, it is their ethical responsibility to find out किसी vulnerability क्या है और कहाँ से इसमें खतरे हो सकते हैं. So they hire blue hackers who are like very good. They are technically sound and they do it for good purpose, and they try to troubleshoot before the software is launched, and at times after launch also, or after selling also, they try to troubleshoot your problems. Then they are stripped kiddie, as the name suggests, kiddie. These are amateur, total amateur, unlearned people who try to hack the system, or they try to do all these cyber crimes using some softwares which are of course not developed by them. And as the name suggests, they are kiddies. They are totally amateur. They are not well acquainted with the neither by the consequences nor like how software is done. They just hit and trial method, they do it and they try to use other softwares. So within these types of hackers I haven't mentioned, but I would like to tell you there are some freakers also. If you have ever heard about telecom scams में क्या होता है कि they get into they bypass the system and they do international calls, or they try to get into your telecom privacy. They are known as freakers. The hackers who get into telephone and these those people are known as freakers. Okay. Then coming to types of cybercrime, I am assuming this because since your previous speakers, they would have definitely discussed all type of cybercrime. So I'm not going to get into detail, and we are going to discuss in detail what I am supposed to discuss today. But there are safety tips, very normal safety tips you all must go through, and a very important aspect I would like to say you. Today's session will be a very productive one when you will educate others also, other people around you. And educating other people around you is just not that you just get into you educate your home people. Try to educate your maids, your drivers, your house help people, because they don't get opportunity to attend workshops like this. Neither they are literate that enough कि वो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ के एजुकेट हो सके. तो ये हमारी मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि जो हम सीखें वो हम अपने हाउस हेल्प वालों को और जितने लोगों को मासेस को अवेयर करेंगे, तो ये वर्कशॉप बहुत ही प्रोडक्टिव होगी. Okay, then a very common things, use antivirus softwares. Try to insert firewalls if you're using good security system. Then uninstall unnecessary softwares. At times what happens when we try and when we buy new laptops, then we without knowing, just for inquisitiveness, we develop too many softwares and everything. So just try to uninstall them. Okay, then always check your security settings, always maintain your backup, and always go what remote wiping option in your cell phone. At times when your cell phone is lost or something, then you might be at threat. Your all personal data, your credentials, your photographs, your everything will be in bad hands. For that, if you have remote wiping option is on, then you can use internet and you can get into your Google account and can delete everything right from your from just by one single click you can delete everything. And this way अगर फोन चोरी भी हो जाता है और गलत हाथों में पड़ जाता है, आपका डेटा सेफ है because you have already erased it. So don't forget, always your remote wiping option. Then always try to maintain backup in cloud or something. Then stay anonymous. I mean, I don't think so there's any need to hype about yourself. Like bragging about your everything at social profile is not a good idea at all. Since childhood we are taught कि किसी stranger से ये मत लेना, किसी stranger से बात मत करना. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बड़े हो गए हैं तो we are all safe. We are at like equal risk, rather greater risk now. बिकॉज हमारा एक्सपोजर और बढ़ जाता है. सो इट इज ऑलवेज बेटर टू स्टे एनोनिमस. नो नीड टू अपडेट एवरीथिंग ऑन सोशल मीडिया. I'll in आगे वाली slides में I'll discuss few real some cases. अभी we went through some very brutal cases I would like to discuss, and why I would like to discuss, so that you all people also can take care of and can learn a lesson from those cases. We'll discuss that later. Okay, then try to be a confidential, zip confidential file for everyone. I mean, strangers को इतना जरूरी नहीं है आपके बारे में जानना, और आपको इतना जरूरी नहीं है आपको बताना. Then you go for a mobile recharge. So everything comes for a charge, and in case of recharge, there is no free charge. This means आप मोबाइल रिचार्ज कराते हो साइट्स पे, या आप शॉप्स पे जाते हो मोबाइल रिचार्ज के लिए, then there is nothing like a freebie, or there is nothing like a free charge or something. So never get into that web. Then debit card cloning. Cloning may blow up your earning. It can be like whenever you go for an एटीएम मशीन में आप जाते हो, अपना डेबिट या क्रेडिट कार्ड लगाते हो, तो जो कार्ड इंसर्टर होता है उसको एक बार हिला के जरूर से देखना चाहिए. आजकल क्या होता है, उसी कार्ड की शेप का उसमें इंस्टॉल्ड होता है, एंड द मोमेंट यू ट्राई टू इंसर्ट योर कार्ड, इट गेट्स क्लोन्ड, एंड फिर आपको तो फिर मैसेजेस आने शुरू होते हैं कि इतने फला फला इतनी शॉपिंग हो गई है, दिस एंड दैट. सो ऑलवेज स्टे अवेयर अबाउट दैट. की लॉगर्स. की लॉगर में एम्प्टी योर कॉपी. Now, keyloggers can be if you're sharing your laptop, if you're sharing your system. There are keylogger software that will, copy without, you won't be able to know also, and your every data will be copied. Your all the this credentials will be copied. So it is always good if you use virtual keyboard for online transactions and everything. It will be always good कि अगर virtual keyboard का इस्तेमाल करें और official sites पे ही transaction करें, HTTPS पे लिंक पे ही आप ट्रांजैक्शन करें. Then SMS spoofing. SMS are spoofed by cyber troops. SMS spoofing के थ्रू भी आप बहुत ठगे जाते हैं. These are very very normal और बहुत ही known हैं. Then ransomwares. Sensitize your hardware and software to avoid ransomware. Now ransomware are, इसके लिए मैं आपको एग्जांपल देती हूँ. अभी एक मेरठ का केस आया था. वहां पे a girl, I won't take the name of the girl since we are not supposed to reveal the name, but that girl, she used to upload all her day to days activities on Facebook. Then there was some freak who was trying to follow her. तो क्या हुआ कि उसने अपने फेसबुक में अपना अपडेट किया गोवा, कि वो गोवा जा रही है. सून ठीक है, गोवा तक तो ठीक था. गोवा जाने के बाद उसने अपनी चेक इन डिटेल्स भी डाल दी कि वो कौन से होटल में है. देन शेयरिंग ऑल द फोटोज एंड एवरीथिंग. That freak followed her to Goa. Then that freak mishandled that girl, recorded all the videos, and then blackmailed her. Ultimately, she had to commit suicide because she wasn't left with any option at all. उसके पास कोई option ही नहीं बचा था. तो this way, again, I would like to say, your information is very sensitive. आपको जरूरत नहीं है सबको बताने की कि आप कहाँ चेक इन कर रहे हो, आप कहाँ जा रहे हो. सेम कम्स विद साइबर स्टॉकिंग, पिक्चर मॉपिंग, प्रोफाइल हैकिंग. ये सब चीजें उन्हीं लोगों के साथ सबसे ज्यादा होती है जो एक तो बहुत ही स्ट्रेंजर्स को अपनी प्रोफाइल में ऐड करते हैं, जिनको ये लगता है कि मेरी फ्रेंड लिस्ट अगर थाउजेंड्स में और 2000s में होगी तो मैं बहुत ही ऑन डिमांड होऊंगा. These things hardly matters. I tell you friends, my dear friends, you need to be very safe. I just want to request the youth, आप एजुकेटेड और आप अवेयर तभी कहलाओगे आप अपना और अपने अराउंड सबका ध्यान रख पाओगे. उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि अपनी सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन को अपने तक ही रखें और कोशिश करें कि हर चीज को अपडेट नहीं करें. देन सोशल ट्रोलिंग, ऑनलाइन हैकिंग, फेक मैट्रिमोनियल साइट, ये दीज आर वेरी कॉमन. आप बहुत ही सोच के समझ के सारी डिटेल्स को जानें. मैट्रिमोनियल साइट्स में जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन होती है उसको अच्छे से लोकली जाके पता करें और कोशिश करें. जो गर्ल्स अपनी प्रोफाइल बनाती हैं मैट्रिमोनियल साइट में, दे ट्राई टू अवॉइड पिक्चर्स. और जब आपके पेरेंट्स पूरी बात कर लेते हैं पूरे अलायंस की एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड व्हेन इट इज लाइक फॉर श्योर कि ठीक है आपने जान लिया सामने वाली फैमिली को, तभी पिक्चर शेयर करने की कोशिश करिए. आई मीन डोंट गेट इनटू हरी, because this hurry will lead you to something really bad. Then juice jacking, you may end up giving your data by way of lottery to the fraudster as against the light of your battery. आजकल तो क्या होता है, मेरे साथ भी होता है ऐसे कि जब बैटरी लो होने वाली होती है ना, तो ये एक डिप्रेशन सा होने लगता है, अरे बैटरी लो होने वाली है, इसको चार्ज करें। तो ये जो क्यूरियोसिटी और ये जो क्यूमुलेटिव मेंटालिटी है ना हमारी, कि कहीं पे भी चार्ज करने का, तो फिर जूस जैकिंग फ्रॉड्स होते हैं एयरपोर्ट पे और रेलवे स्टेशन पे या कहीं भी पब्लिक डोमेन एरिया में जो चार्जिंग पोर्ट्स होते हैं, वहां पे वी मस्ट अवॉइड पुटिंग आवर cell phones for charging, because the moment we'll put there, maybe there must be some key loggers or somewhere, and this is also, this is only known as juice jacking. Juice jacking यही होती है, आप अपने पब्लिक डोमेन में जाके अपने मोबाइल को चार्ज करते हो, and for the sake of battery of your cell phone, you end up giving your all privacy and everything. Then same with the Wi-Fi hacking. Try to avoid using public Wi-Fi networks. हमें क्या लगता है, हम अपना कुछ MB डेटा या कुछ GB डेटा बचा लेते हैं, अपना मोबाइल डेटा ऑफ करके पब्लिक वाईफाई ऑन कर लेते हैं, चलो कोई मूवी डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं, अरे नेटफ्लिक्स का ये सीजन डाउनलोड करते हैं, हमारी GB बच जाएगी. This mentality also drops you in trouble. Always avoid the thing which is public. हमेशा put a question mark on this. The thing, हर चीज अपनी एक कीमत के साथ आती है. नथिंग फ्री जैसा कुछ नहीं है इस दुनिया में, हर चीज की एक कीमत है. अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि आपको फ्री वाईफाई मिल जाएगा, आपको कुछ फ्री मिल जाएगा, नहीं, इट विल टेक समथिंग और द अदर. ईदर इट विल टेक योर क्रेडेंशियल्स और इट विल टेक योर privacy. It can take anything. So in this virtual life, nothing is free. And if it is free, then put a question mark why it is free. Definitely it's going to take something from you. Then there are cyber vultures. As the name suggests, जो vultures होते हैं, those are basically scavengers. They live on dead bodies. And same with these cyber vultures, they live on people who have already lost their money. These are hackers who keep an eye on the network and they just see कि किस इंसान का कहाँ पे कुछ नुकसान हुआ है online. They try to persuade that person. वो उसको call करते हैं, उसको contact करते हैं और उस झांसे में डालने की कोशिश करते हैं कि okay, you lost this money, I'll be the savior. I'm going to help you out. You go through this link, you go through this thing, and this way they get, traumatized. फिर वो जो financially dead है, वो already उनको और उनके साथ fraud होता है. So again, always try to get help from official websites like government websites होती हैं, और जो helpline number 15560, these numbers, these are very important. और government के थ्रू ही, proper channel के थ्रू ही आप help में जाएं, अपने cyber cell में जाएं, nearest police station में. Okay, now coming to cyber crime. क्या होता है, फिजिकल क्राइम जब होता है तो इट इज वेरी इजी फॉर अस टू गेट द एविडेंसेस बिकॉज वी हैव अ फिजिकल साइबर क्राइम सीन. एक प्रॉपर हमको क्राइम सीन मिलता है जहां पे हमें फुटप्रिंट्स भी मिल सकते हैं, हमें फिंगरप्रिंट्स भी मिल सकते हैं, हमें प्रॉपर प्लेस मिलती है, हमें सस्पेक्ट का पूरा सब कुछ मिलता है. साइबर क्राइम ऐसा नहीं है. साइबर क्राइम कभी भी हो सकता है, कहीं भी हो सकता है, ये कोई बाउंड्रीज नहीं जानता. ये आपके साथ, आप कैसे बोलोगे मैं ट्रैवल कर रही हूँ, ट्रैवलिंग टू मुंबई, आई टुक माय फ्लाइट फ्रॉम दिस लखनऊ, देन कोई फिशिंग अटैक हुआ मेरे साथ, एट दैट वेरी टाइम आई वाज इन दिल्ली, एंड उसके अटैक के बाद व्हेन आई रीच्ड मुंबई, व्हेन आई लैंडेड मुंबई, तो मेरे मेरे ट्रांजैक्शन हो चुका था, मेरे साथ फ्रॉड हो चुका था. मैं कहाँ रिपोर्ट करूंगी, कहाँ हुआ, लखनऊ हुआ, दिल्ली हुआ कि मुंबई हुआ, यूपी, महाराष्ट्र or Delhi, where I would like to say. So cybercrime doesn't know any boundaries, and this is the most difficult and complicated issue about cybercrime कि हमारे पास एक proper crime scene नहीं होता. We have to use all our gray matter and intellectual cells to get to the root cause. हमें crime scene को अपने दिमाग में बनाना पड़ता है to understand the reason, to understand the story behind that cybercrime, to if we want to get into mind of cyber criminal, we need to understand the total cyber crime. बिल्कुल एक story frame up करके इसको properly उसको समझना पड़ता है. So these incidents are like, these are very unusual, unpleasant, and not like conventional cyber crime. So we need to be very careful while managing this thing. So all cyber crime incidents are not alike. कुछ unsolicited स्पैम ईमेल्स होते हैं, कुछ एप्लीकेशन फेल हो जाती हैं, उसके वजह से ट्रबल आती है और आपका डेटा लॉस्ट के वर्ज पे होता है, या एट टाइम्स इट गेट लॉस्ट आल्सो. ओके, देन your data getting lost due to some DDoS attack or DOS attacks. Then phishing attacks
के वजह से भी आपका वो अलग साइबर वो क्राइम सीन होएगा. Then malware जो which are not easily available. Okay, I just read that my voice is dropping. I'm trying to speak as loud as I can. And don't worry, I'm going to share my PPT also as well with all your students. I'll be sharing all my contact details also. So just not for workshop. Now from now on, I'll be your friend in helping you out with everything. हमारी तथ्य फोरेंसिक विंग जो फेडरेशन है नोएडा में इसका ऑफिस है. We help like people in you know fighting this digital crime and all. So आपको कभी भी कोई जरूरत पड़ेगी तो I'm always there. So don't worry. Try to get what I'm speaking. And if I'm not able to reach your do all, my number is there. You can call me anytime. You can contact me. I'll be there for you all. Friends, I'm for you all only over here. Okay. Okay. Now getting back to our PPT, let's concentrate in this. Then stages followed to come to a logical end. As I said कि हमें क्योंकि साइबर क्राइम मिलता नहीं है, हमें एक लॉजिकल एंड तक पहुंचने के लिए एक बहुत ही प्रॉपर प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो करने की जरूरत होती है. तो सबसे पहला स्टेज जो होता है, अब साइबर क्राइम हो गया, मैं कहती हूँ कोई क्राइम हो गया, सबसे पहले अब हम क्या करेंगे? स्टेज वन इज इंसिडेंट्स अकरेंस. नो, यू हैव टू रिपोर्ट इट. गेटिंग रिपोर्टेड. रिपोर्टिंग प्रोसीजर आपका कैसा भी हो सकता है. इट कैन बी ऑटोमेटिक, इट कैन बी टिकटिंग सिस्टम और इट कैन बी अ मैनुअल रिपोर्टिंग. 3 वेज है, आप कैसे भी कर सकते हैं. एंड इट कैन बी अ फॉर्मेट ड्रिवन आल्सो. सो दिस वे आपके इंसिडेंट जैसे ही अकरेंस हुआ तो आपका रिपोर्टिंग आपको करना होता है. देन स्टेज 2 इज क्लासिफिकेशन एज पार्ट ऑफ द रिपोर्ट एंड रिसीट. और एंड इफ रिक्वायर्ड कि अगर एस्केलेशन रिक्वायर्ड है और आप देख लोगे कोई लूप होल आ रहा है या आपका केस थोड़ा नीचे हो रहा है, देन escalation is done. It can be done to a directed officer or a wing or a concerned authority for more attention. And action can also be taken if you think कि जो जैसी कार्रवाई चाहिए वैसी नहीं हो रही. That can also be done. It can be done to the top post authority पे पहुंच के it can be done for the same, right? In stage 3 is action initiated on the basis of authenticity and accountability of the cybercrime. Then putting all resources in place for the action initiated and उसके action को complete करना, logs बनाना, trail बनाना, so that कि जब वो forensic cell में जाए it can be scrutinized properly, right? Then stage 4 is always verification of adequacy. I mean, adequacy is like you are the victim and you think adequate remedy has not been given to your loss. Then an effective action can be taken, and there's always a lesson learned after this. Then there's a corrective and preventive measure. Once मेरे साथ अगर एक कभी कोई fraud हो जाएगा, then the most important thing is like मेरी चीज जी खोई तो खोई, but I learned a very important lesson कि जिससे ये चीज दोबारा repeat नहीं हो मेरे साथ. So this corrective and preventive action, review of action taken, and top management review of the entire process at periodic interval to ensure कि ये चीज दोबारा बार बार repeat नहीं होनी चाहिए. So these things all come under incidents management, and this incidents management is very important in cybercrime. Since अगर आप step 1 से step 5 तक ठीक से नहीं पहुंचोगे, तो जो एक आप logic build up करना चाहते हो केस को solve करने के लिए, आप कभी भी उस तक नहीं पहुंच पाओगे. और कभी भी साइबर वर्ल्ड में या क्राइम वर्ल्ड में, लेट मी से, लेट्स नॉट ओनली साइबर, किसी भी क्राइम वर्ल्ड में कोई भी केस लेस इंपॉर्टेंट मोर इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होता. यू नेवर नो कि कौन सा छोटा केस will become a high profile case as soon as media will enter और उसका connection कहाँ से कहाँ निकल जाएगा. So it's always very important to treat every case as the VIP important case and try to solve it with all efficiency. So this is justifying your education actually, and this is justifying your profession as well. And to doing your work with full 100% and giving your 100% to your work. Then immediate and instantaneous reporting and recording of an incident is very important. And why it is important? Is it important because of this following factors, like data collection is important क्योंकि आपको इंसिडेंट को इंफॉर्मेशन को ग्रैब करना है, उसको डिसेमिनेट करना है आगे की प्रोसेसिंग के लिए, लॉजिकल गेट के लिए, तो यू नीड टू कलेक्ट द डेटा. Then collection of live response when the system is running live. लाइक जैसे डॉस अटैक्स होते हैं और सिस्टम को बिल्कुल एकदम ट्रैफिक एकदम बहुत हाई हो जाता है, उस समय लाइव रिस्पॉन्स को कैप्चर करना और पूरे फुल एल्गोरिथम के साथ विदाउट टैम्परिंग the incidents, because you have to produce it in a very acceptable manner in court. Since like from the root जहां से साइबर क्राइम स्टार्ट होता है, इंसिडेंट हो जाता है, राइट फ्रॉम देयर टू कोर्ट तक उसको पहुंचाना विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग द ओरिजिनलिटी और उसको जो ओरिजिन एसेंस होता है उस और जो बिना टैम्पर किए, बिना उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन से छेड़छाड़ करके उसकी हैश वैल्यू क्रिएट करके कोर्ट तक पहुंचाना इज अ वेरी टीडियस टास्क, बट फॉर दैट you need to be very meticulous. Then there are network based evidences. There are availability of logs and trails for forensic analysis. Logs and trails can be in the form of your cell phone. It can be IMEI number. It can be your GSM SIM. So उसमें SIM में information होती है, and it can be a mobile tower also. मोबाइल टावर में भी कॉल डिटेल शॉर्ट CDS जिसको हम कहते हैं, CDS शॉर्ट्स होते हैं, उस शॉर्ट्स में आपको एग्जैक्ट ड्यूरेशन और एक्सचेंज ऑफ कन्वर्सेशन, ड्यूरेशन कब स्टॉप हुई, कितनी देर हुई, क्या रिपीटिशन है, वो पर्टिकुलर आपको सिग्नल से टावर से मिल जाता है. तो दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देन अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ सिस्टम रिलेटेड एविडेंसेस. आप जिस सिस्टम से आपका क्राइम हुआ है तो उनकी जो सोशल साइट्स, उसकी आपका IP एड्रेस, दीज ऑल अ वेरी important aspect. Then investigation of an incident, like I'm saying it again and again in cybercrime, investigation often gives you clear idea कि किस मोटिव से या क्यों ये साइबर क्राइम किया होगा, ये क्या हो सकता है रूट कॉज इस पर्टिकुलर क्राइम का होने का. So this investigation always starts with a very intellectual and very genuine good understanding of the environment of organization, टेक्नोलॉजी यूज्ड, सॉफ्टवेयर कौन सा डिप्लॉय किया गया है, एंड द हार्डवेयर इक्विपमेंट दैट आर इंस्टॉल्ड. सो यू नीड टू बी वेरी मेटिकुलस इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ईच ऑफ दीज कंपोनेंट्स. आई मीन कुछ भी मिस नहीं होना चाहिए. हमें इन्वायरमेंट को भी बहुत अच्छे से समझना है, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कैसा है, टेक्नोलॉजी क्या यूज हुई है, क्या सॉफ्टवेयर यूज हुए हैं, हार्डवेयर इक्विपमेंट कैसे हैं, कब इंस्टॉल हुए हैं, और क्या उनका probability है. These we need to understand. Then it is important to identify where exactly the evidence lies. Which part of the trail or log is very important and which part of the log is volatile. Again, I'm telling you, we have to find out whether it is volatile and non-volatile, कौन सा important है हमारे लिए, logs कौन से. So इसीलिए we must not leave any step. हमको हर step को बहुत ही meticulously करना चाहिए, क्या पता किस step से हम root cause पे पहुंच जाएं और कौन सा step हमको end पे बहुत जल्दी लेके जाए. In this manner we need to be very particular. Okay. Then identification of what is required. Like it's like investigation always starts at the moment you will enter a cybercrime scene. Investigation starts right from knowing which part of the data is stored permanently and which part is likely to be obliterated while the system is about to shut down. तो हमें बहुत जल्दी we have to be very prompt in this thing कि अगर system shut down हो जाएगा तो we lose the data. So it's like to get into the system and try to know कि कौन से कॉल लॉग्स या कौन सा डेटा हमको चाहिए जो परमानेंटली स्टोर नहीं है, अभी शट डाउन होते ही वो चला जाएगा हमारे हाथ से. सो वी नीड टू हैव अ रिकॉर्ड ऑफ दैट. Then for forensic purpose and for purpose of investigation, the usage of this non-volatile memory is very important, and access of data stored in non-volatile memory is very important as a point of evidence also. फिर आगे के केसेस स्टडी के लिए और कोर्ट में प्रेजेंट करने के लिए एज अ लाइक गुड एविडेंस, ये सारी चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं. Then you must have heard about network based incidents होते हैं. तो इन incidents में investigation कैसे start होती है? Starts from analysis of the network log. जो आपका network का logs है उसको हम check करते हैं. जो router tables होते हैं उनको हम बहुत अच्छे से configure करके check करते हैं. हम switch जो configuration से उनको switch करके check करते हैं, और ये router configurations, switch configurations, then ये network logs, tables, these हम इन सब हर चीज का log maintain करते हैं. They can be important at any step, right? Then NTP, that is network time protocol, it is considered to be the oldest and conventional protocol, but still it is in use because it gives you an authentic search. तो हम इसको यूज करते हैं एंड इज जनरली परसीव टू बी वेरी यूजफुल सिंस कन्वेंशनल। हमने जब से फोरेंसिक साइंस जानी है तब से हम सुनते आए, इट्स वेरी कन्वेंशनल और बहुत अच्छी भी होती है यूज में इन आइडेंटिफाइंग द टाइम of the network access, especially in this incident involving network access from a remote place or a distant nation globally। अगर distant nation से कोई network अगर कोई trouble आया है तो उस केस में ये NTP हमें बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करता है और डिफरेंट जो टाइम जोन है उसको अंडरस्टैंड करने में आई मीन दिस इज वेरी हेल्पफुल इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग। ओके देन as I said, sound combination of technological tools backed up by a sound knowledge of legal procedures involved and understanding of a crime scene event, यार आपका environment या organizational environment will prove to be a meticulous tool in investigation of any cybercrime. I would like to repeat this point कि एक कॉम्बिनेशन है और बहुत साउंड कॉम्बिनेशन की आपको टेक्नोलॉजी अगर आ गई, आपको टूल्स में आपका बहुत ज्यादा यू आर कंप्यूटर साइंस पीपल, यू आर टेक्निकल पीपल, ये टेक्निकल पीपल अगर आपकी एक कहते हैं ना कि बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया टेक्नोलॉजी में और अगर आपकी नॉलेज साउंड हो गई एंड नॉलेज बिकम साउंड विद इवेंचुअल केसेस। आई मीन टुडे वी आर डिस्कसिंग दिस टॉपिक बट आई वुड लाइक यू गाइस, आप लोग यूपी से ही हो, आप लोग नोएडा विजिट करना हमारे लैब में। आई वुड लाइक टू शो यू सम लाइव केसेस, आपको हम रूबरू करवाएंगे उन केसेस से तो आपको और अच्छे समझ में आएगा। और ये जो लाइव केसेस होते हैं ना वो जो हमारे ये जो हार्ड डिस्क है ना ऊपर उस पर जो इम्पैक्ट डालते हैं दैट इज अ परमानेंट, है ना, तो इट इज लाइक अ परमानेंट इम्पैक्ट व्हिच इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू आउट थ्रू आउट योर लाइफ। और ये आपके जैसे हम कहते हैं ना हम नई नई जॉब्स करते हैं तो हमारा सीवी एनरिच होता है, वैसे ही हम जितने केसेस देखेंगे, जितने केसेस सॉल्व करेंगे, जितना इसके डेप्थ में जाएंगे उतना ही हमारा ये जो हार्डवेयर है ना वो एनरिच होएगा। So understanding and this softwares and having sound knowledge and of course your intellectual, your gray matter proves to be a very good, finding out the root cause of the incident. Okay, now getting to a very important topic in our forensic cybercrime thing, incident management cycle। इस cycle को समझना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है सबके लिए। Okay, I hope I am audible to everyone and if anybody is having problem कि मैं इंग्लिश में ज्यादा बात कर रही हूँ या हिंदी में ज्यादा बात कर रही हूँ, you can update me, I can change my, I'm okay with both the languages, right? So because it's beneficiary, you students, you are the beneficiaries, so I leave it up to you to decide कि आप हिंदी में चाहते हो या इंग्लिश में चाहते हो। I can continue with that. Okay.
You are properly audible, Vijay. And our participants are from different countries as well.
Oh, great, great, great. Okay, great.
Okay.
Then we'll try to mix up both the things. Okay, thank you, Fazil sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now understanding incident management life cycle. This is a very important part. So if you want to jot down some points, you are free to do that. Incident management life cycle is the over analysis of every incident involving in 3 stages. Okay, it is pertinent to note that every incident reported comes through these stages and overall life cycle involves repetitions of these steps throughout. इनका steps का repetition होता रहता है. We call it as PDCA cycle, that is plan, do, check and act cycle. I repeat, it is plan, do, check and act cycle, and it is basically planning the event, doing it, checking it, and then acting or adjusting according to the requirement of the process or requirement of the crime. This is an iterative step and a process of continuous improvement because we are planning, we are checking it, we are moving towards a improvisation stage. So it is like throughout a continuous improvement demon cycle. And this incident management cycle, this process is like for every organization, it is very important. And any organization receiving reports about any crime or incident impacting information asset, this PDA cycle is used so that जो end result हमारा हो, that must be a very improved one. उसमें flaws कम हो और जो error कहते हैं ना, error की probability वो सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब least हो, कम हो, you can say like that कि वो कम हो. Okay. Now coming to this IT infrastructure library list, IT infrastructure, ITIL as the name suggests. So it is basically divided into following phases. हम इनको इन phases से समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. सबसे पहले occurrence. So occurrence कैसा होगा? कोई भी unplanned disruption to an unagreed service which is unwanted. Right? This is unwanted, unagreed. That is occurrence. Then detection, a process which occurs sometimes after the occurrence of the event. That is detection of that event. Then diagnostics is like diagnostic is same as a medical term name suggests कि हम diagnose करते हैं कि बीमारी क्या है, symptoms को जानने के बाद जड़ क्या है. So diagnostic is identification of the characteristic of the incident. कि क्या characteristics हैं so that we can come to a logical conclusion. Then it's a repair, a process of recovering attacked items. हम जो बड़े-बड़े attacks होते हैं, जैसे अभी आपने सुना था सोनी यूएस में भी हुआ था, सोनी टीवी का हैक हो गया था पूरा सिस्टम, और उस सिस्टम में हैक होने के बाद सारे इंपॉर्टेंट क्रेडेंशियल्स कॉम्प्रोमाइज हुए थे एंड अबाउट 4 or 5 एम्प्लॉइज ऑफ द सोनी कंपनीज दे वर सस्पेंडेड और उनमें इंक्वायरी बिठाई गई थी बिकॉज दे वर इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दैट. So इन सब चीजों के बाद in all these unfortunate events there is a loss, a great loss to company and great loss to people. उसका repair बनता है. तो for that repair the steps come in light. Then recovery, a process of restoring the failed items to their last recoverable state. तो उसको recovery हम करने की कोशिश करते हैं. Restoration, a process of providing an unexpected service back to a user. You can say that let me give you a very basic and small example. Like you're using a cell phone and you didn't had a backup of your these contacts or something. Didn't had backup of your photographs which were very important to you, very dear to you. I'm taking a very basic example. So we'll use some Pandora recovery software, some recovery software we're going to use. We are under an impression कि ये हमारा data चला गया. And we are in deep depression, deep shit of depression कि यार अब चला गया data, contacts चले गए. We feel very vulnerable, we feel very negative. But then your friend at rescue comes and says, okay, I can give you your data back. So this is something which is very unexpected. आपने सारी expectations lost it. आपने बिल्कुल छोड़ दिया था कि मेरा data वापस आएगा. But that savior comes and आपका पूरा photograph आपको recover करके देता है. Those your good memories, photographs, your important contacts of your past, of your relatives and everyone. So this is restoration basically. I try to make you understand with an example, a very basic one though. Then closure. The final step in the life cycle of incident management is the closure, during which the user and an incident handler check that the service is fully available or not. Because while restoring it, while diagnostic and while repair and recovery, there are chances that lose a data. At times, we cyber forensic experts go for a hit and trial method. We ourselves are not sure. हम सामने वाले को तो assurity दे देते हैं, but कई बार क्या होता है, we do a hit and trial method using some softwares. So we always say कि there are chances, okay, there are chances 50% that we are going to give it. तो ये हमारा mental backup होता है और ये हमारी limitation भी होती है कुछ softwares की कि we try to recover this. So closure तभी होता है, ये final step होता है when incident life cycle में we as a user or as an incident handler check that the service is now fully available or not. Okay, so this is a very important part. Okay. Now then, understanding the digital footprints. As the name suggests, digital footprints, it is a trail or trace of a person that lives online in the internet and refers to any information communicated or an email. It can be any attachment or stored or uploaded data. Broadly speaking, let's understand it in a very Romance language कि हम जब भी system use कर रहे हैं, suppose I'm using my system right now, okay, I'm using WebEx and I'm trying to communicate with you people, right? And sooner or later when I'll sign out and I'll move into my second workshop, and after ending everything, I'll be switching off my laptop and I'll be quitting something or I'll be switching something else. तो जो भी मेरा सिस्टम आके यूज करेगा तो उसको ट्रेल मिलेगी इधर इन ब्राउज हिस्ट्री और सम की आज ये वर्कशॉप हुई है ना, वेबएक्स यूज किया मैडम ने, उसके बाद ये दूसरी वर्कशॉप हुई, यहाँ अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी में ने कम्युनिकेट किया. सो दिस वे व्हेन आई एम डूइंग समथिंग आई एम लीविंग अ ट्रेल. or this trail is unfortunate for a very unfortunate part of cyber criminals. उनको क्या लगता है कि एक बहुत नामी किताब है हमारे forensic world में कि if there are 100 ways of committing crime ना, there are 101 types of tariqas of, you can say, ways by which we can find out that crime. तो ये दुर्भाग्य है इन साइबर क्रिमिनल्स का बेचारों का कि ये कुछ भी करते हैं कुछ ना कुछ ट्रेल जरूर पीछे छोड़ देते हैं जिनको हम ब्रॉडली क्लासिफाई करते हैं डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट्स के नाम पे. सो एज द नेम सजेस्ट कि कोई भी फुटप्रिंट होती है वो अपनी छाप छोड़ के जाती है. सिमिलरली ऑल दीज यूजर्स, those who use who are accessing system or who are trying to use this system, they leave a digital footprint behind in the form of their logs, in their browser history, whatever they are doing, they leave a digital footprint. So these footprint can be stored in many ways, including in inappropriate database. It can be IP address which can be retraced. It can be form of a keylogger. Keyloggers we impart for getting the credentials without knowing of the user, without taking permission of the user. We try to take out the credentials. So it can be form of can be a footprint part. Then we these cyber criminals think that however how much careful I'm not going to leave any trace behind. I'm very trained, but it's not true. That this assumptions always goes wrong, because definitely a cyber criminal, they leave traces, and it is actually impossible not to have any footprint, but they have some deliberate step maybe taken to guard against leaving a trail. I mean, you can deliberately take some steps, but you do lose footprints for that. Then I'm going to discuss a very important software with you, but before that I would like to share one of our experience. Like since when we started this forensic science studies, so सबसे पहले a very first thing we were taught about कि forensic science lies in totally उसकी spine है these two principles. Number one, the principle is of exchange, Locard's principle जिसको हम कहते हैं, Locard's principle of exchange, and there are principles of probability. So probability is like creating a crime scene, creating situations. So probable jitni bhi probabilities hoti we try to create. And similarly, a very important part, Locard, Locard principle of exchange, which says whenever you are interacting with your environment, it is impossible that you do not leave any traces. Suppose, let me give you an example. If I'm entering in a room trying without to disturb anything, मैं कुछ भी disturb नहीं करूंगी, and I'll get through it and I'll come out without anybody knowing the owner of the room. It is not possible, because ये nature का principle है. Definitely, the moment you will interact with the nature, you will exchange something. And now this exchange can be in the form of your hair. You may drop your hair. It can be if you're applied some corrosive nail paint, your nail chip can drop down. It can be a fiber, a fabric of your cloth. It can be like if you are trying to your fingerprints, or if you're trying to hear something, तो आपके ear prints उस पे. Then while entering or touching or something, this way you are. So this is we are talking about physical crime. Similarly, why I discussed this whole thing, I wanted you all to understand this digital footprint thing. The same happens with digital footprint. The cyber world is not untouched with all these things. And this way, the moment you get into system, the moment you try to, create some phishing attack, or you try to create some fake lottery wala message to elucidate people and to lucify them and to make them, try to harass them anyway, either by financially or by stalking or by extortion, you leave a trace. That trace can be in the form of your browser history. It can be in the form of your IP address. It can be in the form of your tower details. जो आप call से करते हो, आपकी tower details होती हैं. That have CDR short. उनके पास सारे shorts होते हैं. Okay, so you can easily, I mean, you can get trapped. So moral of the story is, if you think that you can commit a cyber crime without leaving a trail, it is not possible. ऐसा possible नहीं होता है. You always leave a digital print. right? So I guess we are supposed to take a break, and this is like a very important tool which I want to discuss. So I don't want it to leave it in bed and then start. So Fazil sir, can we take a break and then start this slide?
Sure, Vijay. We'll take a break of 10 minutes and we'll again meet at 5:10 p.m.
Sure, sir. Sure. That will be very
Thank you, Vijay. Okay.
most welcome, sir. Yeah.
Again at 5:10 p.m.
Has become a very famous and very much in these days just because of its features. And what are its features? The remarkable preservation of the evidence, maintaining the integrity of the evidence, and then analysis and presentation in court of law while solving the cases and presenting the evidence, and with proper security controls like non-temperability, preservation of originality, copying without destroying, or otherwise impacting the original with proper time stamping. All these features were, all these features were supposed to be, loopholes in our cyber forensic world, where we used to copy the data, but at the same time, data used to get lost. Then they were like, preservation of originality. Kai baar kya hota tha? We tried to copy some data. We wanted to do it.
Faisal Anwar, please
We were not
unmute yourself.
able to
Dr. Faisal
preserve
Anwar,
it.
please unmute yourself. Mute yourself.
Sorry.
Ma'am, please continue.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I would like to repeat, since it is a very important software, and I want all of you to get, encounter with this software. So I'm repeating myself. I'm talking about a tool EnCase and why it is very famous and acceptable because of its remarkable features. Remarkable features which were like, there were some loopholes, some vulnerable loopholes while doing crime scene investigation and while preserving these evidences. It was like we used to copy the evidence, but at the same time we used to get the data used to get lost. Then originality maintain nahi ho pati thi. At times थोड़ी सी छेड़छाड़ हो जाती थी, and there was a tampering of the evidence and eventually destroying the evidence. So fighting and eradicating all these loopholes, we cyber forensic experts came up with EnCase. This tool is very important and acceptable in court. And besides this, it also has tools for various evidences related functionalities like acquisition analysis, then reporting. It has also tools for creating, forensic images in medias, in bits and bytes, extraction process, and then separate software for taking evidences from mobile devices and other electronic equipments. Now, whenever I go to, police department for training and all, to in ATS department or in CBI department, I go to some banks also for all these, workshops. So the major problem which all these people face is collection of the evidences, because this is the incident life cycle में the most important part is collection. अगर हम किसी चीज को ठीक से collect ही नहीं कर पाएंगे, we won't be able to come to a logical conclusion. We won't be able to present in law, या we won't be able to accept or get down to some good conclusion. So this EnCase tool helps you doing that. And most importantly, when in a cybercrime, all cases are not very high profile. All cases never take places just by a MacBook Air or your iPhone or something. There are cases जो बहुत ही नीचे तबके में होते हैं, and cyber crime has no boundaries. It doesn't understand class. It doesn't understand region. It does cybercrime what? Any crime. They don't have boundaries. They don't understand class. They don't differentiate between rich or poor. So people who are having a GSM cell phone, people who are having a very, a basic cell phone. So these softwares like proved to be a boon for extracting, evidences right from the cell phone and from other electronic equipments. And not only cell phones, these days, a very short pen comes with a recording area and capacity of, magnificent storage capacity. You can those spy people and even journalists are using those spy these pens which are कहते हैं ना छोटा pocket बड़ा धमाका वाली बात. So these are very short miniature equipments, but they do wonders in terms of storing data. So these equipments has been created with a very intellectual brains, but now we as a cyber forensic experts, we have a great pressure to extract all the evidences from these datas, from these highly techno pro datas, and not only extraction, a very a good extraction with a proper security control like non-temperability and without destroying it otherwise. So this has become a very important task. So this way NCase is known to everyone. Okay, now moving out to our next slide, evidence collection. As I said, in cybercrime, there is no such place of crime. I gave you an example also. While I'm traveling from Lucknow to Mumbai, any financial fraud happened with me, what I would report? What location I'm going to give? So this situation of mine clearly explains you that this place of crime, cyber crime doesn't have place of crime. It is just a mere circumstances which lead to the scene of crime, and naturally the evidences which will help us understand what happened and what led the crime to happen. Hence, evidence gathering has to take place from the circumstances of the case and not exact the physical location. Just understanding my point. Let me give you an example. Suppose some phishing attack has been done. Now, phishing attack is an attack in which these hackers are using a slight spelling mistake is there, and people who are not very educated or people who are not very pro online people, so they'll just go for Amazon. As we spell, we all know it's AMAZON, right? But it will appear as AMAAZON. People who are not well acquainted with the spelling, but they are just had an idea of the name. Okay, Amazon. The other day I went to that party and my friend said that crop top is available in very good price and in very good colors with lot of and this delivery is also free. Let's go for Amazon. See now where I'm making mistake. I didn't check. I didn't took a pain to verify the proper website also. And this is where I'll be the victim. I'll go to those phishing attack. I'll go to that profile and I'll end up losing all my credentials and all my money. So here there is no place of crime. Here we come across the circumstances. So this is what I'm trying to explain you all. It is the circumstance which lead to the scene of crime, and naturally the evidence which comes in the form of your this whatever your shorts, your IP address, or whatever we try to gather. So evidence gathering has to take place from the circumstances of the case and not exactly from the physical location of the server or the keyboard or the mouse you're using or a fire stick you're using or you're using some earphone or whatever network devices. So these such gadget and appliances, they don't make a big thing, but circumstances do. So again, I would like you all to say that take care in sharing everything, and when everything is coming digital, you have a very big responsibility on you all to go towards authenticity. You must check the authenticity. Haven't you seen your grannies? Even I have seen that. My granny, she used to, when a fruit vendor or vegetable vendor used to come, she used to, take those fruits in hands. She used to smell them. She used to see the color, and then also she ended up not buying the groceries, and and those vendors used to get irritated. And at times when those vendors used to see my granny on the gate, they used to run away like anything. They ended up giving nothing to my granny. So that alertness is required. It is need of an hour today. We must always question the authenticity. We must be always suspicious. I mean, this suspicious attitude of us and this alertness of us is really going to be very helpful, because see, it's no turning back. We have headed in the run of digitalization. Everything is getting digital. So we have to run and we have to match their speed. The inquisitive attitude of us, this suspicion, putting question mark on everything, and being a closed zip file for everyone can save us from all these tremors, I tell you. Because a very first question when I was studying in my masters, some expert came to our university. He was like giving us a demo of some cybercrime or something. The question answer R came, and unlike other curious student, I was like, sir, what is the only mean by which we can be safe and we don't get prey of this digital crime? You know what he said? He said, don't use your cell phone. Keep it down. Don't use your laptop. Is it possible? And I was like, no, it's not possible. How can we not use cell phone? How can we not use system, and everything is like digital and you have to abide by all these things? So he said, you have answer to your question by yourself. You cannot run away from all these things, but you can save yourself by being alert and by being suspicious and inquisitive towards all these things, right? So circumstances are very important when we are collecting evidences. To understand, to get to a logical cycle, we have to understand this. Then evidence gathering in cybercrime is considered to be a very crucial step. You know why it is very crucial? Because it has some techno-legal importance. And in cases when a crime is reported in the form of DOS attack or DDoS attack, where there is a lot of traffic and you need to collect these evidences while the network is on, in the live sessions, you need to get through that traffic and you need to take out that evidences in the flowing session. So this evidence gathering is very important, and at that very time understanding the circumstances and incidents becomes very important for and useful for creating a reliable evidence for you. Okay, then here preservation and documentation of these evidence will go a long way investigation as a part of racial evidentiary mechanism in cybercrime. Because see, you never know when the case is going to end, how long you need to keep a record of all these trails, and at what step you will be coming to your conclusion, at what step you'll be getting victory in your cases, or you will be coming out victorious. So it is always important to collect all the evidences in a proper chronological order with a proper authentic sequencing, values, sampling, dotting, listing, and preserving, so that when that case becomes a high profile case then you have no stone unturned. At that very time, it's like, okay, I did my bit, and it's like isse zyada ho hi nahi sakta tha. So, but for that, you need to be very meticulous. Okay. Then, where to get the evidence? Very important part. जब हम बार बार कह रहे हैं, when we are repeating ourselves again and again that it is not like a physical crime of a murder or a rape or a drowning case where you will be getting seawater, or you will be able to see planktons in the thighs or diatoms in the thighs, and you will be able to tell whether it is post-mortem drowning or anti-mortem drowning. This evidence collection and circumstances understanding becomes very important to you for an expert. So as I discussed with you, Locard's principle of exchange here comes in existence. Locard's exchange principle is a very popular concept in evidence gathering. According to this principle, in every crime, the fraudster or the criminal, they bring into something in the crime scene, they bring something and they take away something from the crime scene with them. As I discussed, it's the principle of exchange. If I get into room, it is impossible for me to not get something from here. I mean, get something here and get something from there. Okay, so it's principle of exchange which goes mutually and hence becomes very important as a part of evidence collection. So crime scene, taking something from the crime scene, such objects which can be both used as a forensic evidence in crime investigation. The principle of taking and leaving IT Act applicable in the case of digital evidence is like two-way and logically interpret. This is to mean that in case of any cybercrime, it's always some perforated logs or trees that are going to help you out in getting through the case or breakthrough of the case. And both these collection of evidences will take you to the breakthrough. where you can come to some logical conclusion. Okay. Then in a cybercrime, the first step, the very first step is like you would have to understand the nature of the crime committed. I always tell you, na, it is your instincts, it is your gray matter, and it is your experience that will help you out, to come out victorious, to come out of flying colors. Your previous experiences, your instincts, your sixth sense, your inquisitive, suspicious nature, that is going to help you out and give you a breakthrough of very important or very complicated cases which are literally impossible for others to solve. It will be very easy. A Herculean task to others will be a very, a small job for you if you, focus on understanding what is the nature and what are the circumstances under which the crime has been committed. Okay. Then the nature of crime committed and the circumstances, they just, it is a very helpful tool for investigator to be able to understand where exactly the evidence is available. The moment you get an idea, what is the nature of the crime and under what circumstances it happened, then the very first thing, the answer which you will get from yourself, from your inner self is, this is the place from where I'm going to get evidence of this particular crime. And this way, and this evidence can be anywhere. It can be from within, it can be outside, it can be hardware, it can be software, it can be in the form of your PC, it can be in the form of laptop, flashcards, it can be those spy cameras, it can be your home cameras, CCTV footages, your mobile, your this smart watches, anything which is digitally capable of recording anything or storing data to its maximum capacity. Your evidence can lie anywhere there. You can get from there. So the moment you get an idea from where you'll get the evidence, the very second thing which comes in your mind is you will get to your next step, where you will be getting into the internet provider or into logs or into content. And so this, all study of this mobile tower, study of IMEI number or CDR or your call record shots in a mobile tower, they give you then again a clear picture. What would had happened? Yeah. What was the nature of the crime? Yeah. What was the reason the things happened? Okay. Then in most of the cyber crime these days, other than voice operated IP connections and satellite phones, the detail gathered are from mobile towers. As I'm repeating again and again, they serve as a very important tool for law enforcement agencies and investigating officers and for our forensic expert. It acts as a very crucial evidence, and it is known as call detail records or CDR short. The logs recorded in a server in a mobile tower is of vital, very important, of utmost importance in investigation point of view. The subscriber identity module, commonly known as SIM card, in the mobile handset stores all the valuable information which you find out or to break through any crime. Then every registered user has an original international mobile subscriber identity, commonly known as IMSI. Would like to repeat this international mobile subscriber identity, which is a unique identifier defining a subscriber in the wireless world, including the country and mobile network to which he belongs. It is like normal term, it is your Aadhaar card. By Aadhaar card, anybody can track you, your house, your birth date, and your important credentials, your identity. Similarly, this IMSI is your Aadhaar card, right? So the information is stored in SIM card in the case of this your GSM, Global System for Mobile Communication. The network uses the IMSI, again, identify the subscriber, and then IMEI, International Mobile Equipment Identify of the handset. These all are name and address of the criminals, and at times when there is case of some, missing may say suspect or victim, yeah, any कोई missing cases होता है, तो these evidence act as address or and proves to be a very important component
when we are trying to solve any cases or when we are devoid of any evidences, these evidences give you a breakthrough. And through this, you can move slowly forward and can come to some conclusion. Then talking about IMEI, this is a unique, mostly 15 digits for the mobile handset, commonly found behind a battery too. If you turn your battery, you'll see this 15-digit IMEI number is there, and it can be compared to the registration number of the vehicle. Like if I own a Honda City, then my Honda City has a registration number. I have RC for that. Similarly, if I have an iPhone, if I have a phone, then I have IMEI number. That is a unique 15-digit number, which is a registration number for my cell phone, right? It is allotted by 4 bodies authorized of late. The 4 companies in the regard, and 2 handsets can have the same number. It's very useful tool to trace mobile when it is lost. In case of lost mobile phone cases where cyber cell may people come for complaining, my cell got lost, I was traveling. At that very time, this IMEI number serves to be a very important evidence in tracking the phone down. And hence, because of this feature, it becomes very important for law enforcement agencies and for our forensic experts to track the phone down. Then one can get to know the IMEI number of the mobile handset by pressing. You can do it right now also. You can just click *#06 followed by hash in your mobile phone. You'll get your IMEI number. This is very basic detail, and as a computer science student, I expect that you all be knowing this. I repeat, you can press *#06 followed by hash, and this way you will be able to know what is your IMEI number, right? Then talking about CDR, every mobile tower generates a log called call detail records, or CDR in short. A very important, friends, you need to focus on this. CDR contains very valuable data such as time, duration, completion status, source number and destination number, the route by which the call entered the exchange, and by which the call left the exchange. Now you see, the CDR is giving you so many information. Have you ever wondered, phone tower which is next to your house can give this much details to you? Yes, for our forensic experts, these details are very important. These details may sound, lame to other people, but for us, it acts as a very crucial evidence. And while investigating, cases when we are devoid of the evidences where this criminal is very sharp and very intellectual, and he's using all his intelligence, he's very trained, and combination of technology and sound experience, these things helps us like anything, and they just appear to be like a boon cases. So these CDRs are very useful for law enforcement agencies, for us, for evidence, all those people who need it for evidentiary purpose. So always when you ever become a forensic expert, or you would like to help okay, I'm trying to be a bit loud. Okay, if you want to be a forensic expert in future, or a cyber expert in future, or you would like to help your country or law enforcement agency, then please focus on this feature, that call detail records, or CDR in short. The CDR contains very valuable information, and it likes time, duration, completing status, then source number, destination number, the route by which the call entered, the route by which the call left. So these all informations are very important, and they act as a crucial evidence. Okay. Now, again, all important. Now you must be thinking, ma'am is saying this is important, this is important. So my dear friends, this whole topic is very important. If you want to come to conclusion, or if you want a breakthrough in a case, evidence collection and this detecting these threats and this digital forensic is very important. So I know I'm repeating, I'm saying everything is important. See, this what we do is very vast. I'm just trying to make it very short for you, and trying to make it more relevant to you, right? So evidence collection and chain of custody. Now after you have collected evidence, chain of custody is very important. Like when you present all these evidences in court of law,
you have to present it in a very acceptable manner. Otherwise, you will be questioned for your investigation. Or the moment it gets into a high profile case, or CBI or FBI is getting into these cases, then you will be question mark. Your credibility will be on a big question mark. So you need to prepare this chronological order in a very right manner. So chain of custody in the context of any legal procedure refers to the chronological order, the sequence of upkeeping of the evidence, whatever you have gathered in a particular crime scene, as a part of investigation. For instance, if knife is used in detecting a victim, is leased and then taken into custody by police and then maintained with chronological order with proper time stamping and everything in a proper packet, where this evidence is like at the least verge of temperability and all, with the order code and how and when to see and when it was preserved and how it was preserved. Everything is done, and it is preserved till it is presented in a court of law in a most presentable and acceptable manner. Similarly, for digital evidences, this thing happens. We need to maintain a chronological order. So in order to produce it in an effective way, we need to record and we need to do all the documentation and handling procedures. For this, we follow our hash algorithm, right? When we get into some cybercrime, the very first thing when we want to do the evidence collection and we are on the next step of chain of custody, we create a hash value. That hash value is stamping of proper timing and how we have taken that evidence in our hands. Everything that is documented, and creation of this hash value is very important. And it's really significant when we are going through some cases and we are going to hand it over to court or to law force agencies or investigation point of view. It is an important part where you need to preserve it pretty well. Okay, then let's move to objects of cybercrime. Like, what are the main objects of cybercrime? Soon after, like you have chain of custody, you have maintained hash value, you have justified the way you have collected the evidences, and everything comes this objective, you can say, of cyber evidences and all. So unlike the physical world where we know that the evidence lies in a paper or a knife or some piece of fabric or in a paint chip or in a tire mark or on a footprint, in these case of cybercrime and this related incident getting reported, the evidence may be a user ID or software or a program which is running in your device, or disk or pen drive or CD. These things act as a major objects, where in like murder cases, as like knives are very important. In rape cases, you take care of these semen and this other biological fluids, and in drowning you go for plankton and diatom analysis, right? So similarly, in digital world, these are the most important objects of our interest for like investigating officer or a cyber expert, like these IDs, user IDs, this trail of logs, software, program running. So these are very important for us. Cyber crimes can be done by spy devices. And as I told you, these spy devices are very advanced these days. They are in very small in size, but like inversely proportional to its capacity of storing data. Size may be small, but yes, for sure, Shabir, I'm going to share this presentation with you all. I'll request to share this presentation with all of you. Okay. So getting back to this devices are very important, and our sound technical knowledge and the way we are extracting evidence becomes equally complicated and important with these technologically well apted spyware pens and everything. I listed NCase tool. This NCase tool come in existence in these cases only when we have newly developed spyware कि जो वॉचेस हैं, जो वॉच हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं या जो पेन हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे से हैं, but they are very techno pro and they have high capacity of recording and doing miraculous cyber crimes. At this very time, it becomes very important for us to like track the evidence and to take out the evidence, and not only taking out of evidence, preserving it, and preserving it till not to eternity, but at least till presenting it before law, before presenting in court. So we need to take a string out of it. Then these days, it becomes increasingly difficult, technologically wise, complicated, and legally more procedures all involved for taking evidences from such devices and make use of them in investigation. It is interesting to note that spy devices, example, spy camera device with audio and video recording, and facilities are available in many households. And then you have smart TVs with you. Many of you must be having smart TVs where you have your CCTV cameras attached to it, where you can see what is happening around your house, in your different rooms. So this way your smart TV is connected with those things. So you are at verge of, at privacy hack also at the same time. So being deployed in so many ways, right from normal routine security check, these recording sting operation and app to access point for committing in illegal activity to these opportunities have increased. As I discussed in my very first slide, what is the cause of cybercrime? I illustrated you a triangle now. Remember, try to picture that triangle, what I explained in my previous slide. Opportunity, need of pressure, and rationalization. So these smart TVs, smart watch, these all things are like these things are opportunity for cyber criminals, and all the vulnerabilities in all these technologically pens and your smart TV, your CCTV camera connected to your CCTV camera connected to your smartphone. Undoubtedly you can have access to a home. You are at London and seeing your house in say Meerut mein, you are seeing what is happening inside and outside your house. It is a boon for you, but it comes with a cost. As I said, nothing is free in this world. Nothing is free. It comes with a cost. It comes as a cost of your inclusion in the privacy and everything. This way, it becomes very difficult for our as an expert to extract. See, extracting of evidences is not a big deal, but extracting it in a way where it doesn't lose its originality, it doesn't get tampered, it has proper timing, and the copying of the evidence without deleting or disrupting or destroying it, that is a big deal actually. So these are like different objects of cyber evidence. Like whenever cybercrime happens, we try to find out a breakthrough in all these evidences only, and they act as our friends. Or there's a famous saying, dead men tails no tail unless you are in forensics. So for our forensic people, the dead body also tells a story. We frame a story that this must have been happened to all these evidences. These objects, they act as our friends. These are friends who help us in breaking through very difficult and complicated cases, which is like impossible for a few people, or which may be like a very difficult or impossible for scenarios. Okay, now coming to case study. Now I would like to discuss few recent cases we Tathya Forensic Federation we solved. Let me tell you, I am a graphologist also, and I do handwriting predictions also. I try to find out suicidal tendencies. Just by seeing the handwriting, I can tell if a person is having Alzheimer, or a patient is having some bone ailment. If the person is very stubborn or rigid, I mean, all your personalities, just by seeing your handwriting, I can give you a kundli, your horoscope of your personality, your weakness, strength. I mean, your SWOT analysis will be done by me just with a piece of handwriting. So that is also part of my curriculum. At times when there are, crime scene where we are devoid of evidences, this handwriting and these suicide notes or pen poison letter, handwriting acts as my best friend, where I can narrate a story, or when I can assume what would have happened. So some other day we'll talk about graphology. This is also yet a very important subject and of
interest also. So if you guys, you all turn out and develop interest towards graphology, or you want to learn graphology, we can have a hands-on workshop on graphology where I'll teach you how to read people, or how to understand people, or how to improve or evolve yourself just by changing your handwriting or signature. Okay, nevertheless, coming back to our recent cases, the most important case I would like to discuss with you, which we solved day before yesterday. This case is from Karnal, right? Karnal, some boy. Again, I wouldn't take name of that person. Let's assume that person as A. A received a video call, an anonymous video call. Like all we do, he received the video call, and the moment he received the video call, he saw a girl on other end. She was completely nude, and out of curiosity, maybe, or maybe because he couldn't understand what is happening across the cell phone, he continued seeing her. And by this time, that girl, she took. Okay, I'm not audible. Okay, I'm repeating this case. This case is very important, which we break through day before yesterday. This case is from Karnal. And a person received a video call from some anonymous number. So like us, he received, like we receive a video call, we usually don't avoid it, we receive it. So he also received. The moment he received a call, what his eye see was that girl was nude. And maybe whatever the reason that that boy continued that video call, maybe out of curiosity, or maybe he couldn't understand what is happening around the phone, he continued seeing her. And this way she took a screenshot seeing that guy. Now this girl started cyber stalking that guy, and she totally blackmailed him, to extent that I'm going to share these screenshots to your Insta account, and I know your address as well. I'm going to post these pictures. I know where you're studying also. So you're understanding with all these things, you're understanding how difficult it is to keep yourself private, and your all information, whatever you're sharing in your public profile, can be a death tracker for you all. So she knew everything about that guy, since he was a very social profile guy. He used to update everything. Even after playing a game also, he used to update his score on Facebook and Instagram. So she took advantage of that. She said, okay, I'm going to post all these in your social profiles, and you don't know in what IT act you're going to get registered, your life will be finished, and this and that. This way she blackmailed, and he was giving money. And at the end of the day, when he came to his parents and started crying, he see, Papa, this thing happened, and see, I am not at fault at all. It was just my inquisitive attitude that I wanted to see what this girl is going to do next, and this is the only fault which I did, and now you save me from this crap. So his father, he was like well aware. He went to the police department, and then through cybercrime cell, through proper tracking, that girl was tracked. And then it was like when he met police officer, then he came to know this is not the first case. I mean, these cases are happening globally, everywhere, and too frequently. So now you all must be thinking, what if you also become prey of cases like this? The very first thing you can do, see, if my number is on internet, I work as a graphologist and I work as a cyber expert. So my number is at Insta ID and Facebook ID. So whenever I'm getting some unknown video call, it is like I'll be, assuming that this call is very important. It must be coming from a person who needs me at this time. I'll receive. You also have to receive the call. But remember what you have to do. Just take your cell phone and see, this is the camera of cell phone. You have to put a finger on this camera and then receive video call. When you'll put this finger, then your face won't be available there. कोई नहीं देख पाएगा उस side आपका चेहरा. Then you can make sure कि whosoever call you have received is safe, and it's not going to intrude your privacy, or not going to exploit you anyhow. Then only proceed, and you can remove finger, and you can talk or continue your call, or you can disconnect or do the required action, whatever is required. I mean, if it is some hacker or some cyber extortion wala call, then act accordingly. Go to the government official, go to the cybercrime. Here is cybercrime reported there, and you can
you can save yourself and your family from many troubles like this just by being aware. So always remember, if you're getting any video call from unknown number, put a finger on the camera. Make sure your face is, not available to the opposite person unless and until you're totally sure ki haan, I know this person, right? I hope I'm clear with this thing. Then second case happened with this online gaming, and many cases happened in my relatives as well. I have cousins who are very much into PUBG, and then this Free Fire and all these games, they get into this. So all these youngsters, they are getting addicted day by day, day by day. So a recent case of MP came where a child whose mother was a farmer, they hardly could earn bread and butter of their family. So he became prey of online gaming. He was playing, and while playing, he became this part of social engineering, and a person who tried to show that he was friend of his and he tried to be very friendly, but he was a person of almost thrice his age. He met him personally and asked for the money. So her mother, who earned that money, and you can understand a farmer's family, what would be their financial status and what would be their savings. So he took out the savings in her absence of mother and took and gave to that person by meeting. See, by meeting, anything could have happened. He would have killed that person, but since they were not from a very rich background, so what he could get, it was just an amount of money which the boy got. So he took out nearly 25,000 or 30,000 rupees and handed over to him. The moment he was returning home, now he had a self-realization. I'm talking about a 12-year-old boy who was returning to home and was realizing how difficult it is for her mother to meet both the ends, and how difficult she's saving money just for the sake of his son's education, that soon after this corona thing will be over, he will make she will make proper arrangements to get his child into some get good school, and she would like to educate him so that in her future कुछ अच्छे दिन भी उसको देखने को मिलेंगे, and whatever struggle she has went through, it was gonna end. That boy was with full of emotions, and the moment he came home again, his mother was not at home. He committed suicide. Now can you think these online gamings, this costed, I mean, this might be a case for you all, even for me, but what about that mother who had only his child and he lost him also? So it's like it is not a very technical way by which you will get fraud or you will get a prey of all these things. It can be anyhow. The moment you become careless, you will be a prey to all these cyber vultures, I'm telling you. It can be in form of phishing attack. It can be in the form of SMS spoofing. It can be in the form of emails, which which happens to write to you at the any cost you have won a lottery or something. This is in among your friends कैसे बनते हैं? By sharing Netflix password. If your friend is sharing a Netflix password with you, you are a best buddy. This is the criteria of deciding who is close friends. So don't get into these traps. I'm telling you. Always remember, nothing is free. Everything comes with a cost. And definitely, yeah, if you're educated or if you want to live a very good life or you want to take care of your family and yourself, don't get into these greedy traps or these honey traps, right? Then the other day I was giving an interview in a newspaper. So they were asking me, ma'am, how to stay free? And I said, you must not touch unknown links. So you know what that journalist said? That journalist said, ma'am, this is something which is available in Google also. What is something new you're telling to me? I mean, excuse me, sir. For you and for me, these unknown links seems to be very common. But for a buy who's coming at my house help, but for a driver who's coming to pick me and drop me, these links are a big thing. को नहीं पता what I'm talking about. And to us also, see, as a forensic expert, whenever I'm going to browse my history, these trackers maintain a track. They know what is the zoner of the person. If I'm a forensic expert, they are going to lure me with some forensic ebook free of cost. These forensic ebooks are very expensive in market. So for these young students who are studying and just in a lure of oh, we are getting a very expensive foreign writer ebook and that too free, come on, get into this link. So this is unknown link which comes in light. which was like, a very common thing for a journalist. I interrupted and very rudely I interrupted him. See, in crime, you cannot take anything as a trivial issue. In crime, everything is important, whether from pin to aeroplane, everything is important. And same with the safety also. You cannot say ki, nahi, by this thing you will be safe and by this thing you won't be. So if you are, let me give you an example. If you are a sports freaky person, you love to go for a, sports shoppings and equipment. Yeah, maybe, let me give you an example. If you're online shopping freaky, so you will be lured by a unknown link. Okay, touch this link and you will be able to get this thing free. Accept it or not. All of us, we are always in look of something which is of a lesser amount of free. That is moment of pride for all of us, especially we Indians. We believe in bargaining a lot. These ladies who go for kitty parties, even I've seen my mother when she used to go to kitty party, then she used to sit and they used to brag about, okay, you got it in 200, I got it in 100 rupees. Oh, you got this, I got this thing free. So these choti cheeze are a matter of pride and happiness for people. And I guess this is around the world. ये सबके लिए ही होता है, and this goes with everyone. So please don't go with freebies and don't try to make yourself free by not touching any unknown link. Be as alert as you can, because this is a need of an hour. Developing a suspicious attitude and being alert and making your society also alert. If I am alert and I'm keeping my family alert, that is a contribution of my side to the family. Same with you. If after this workshop you educate other 5 people or make them aware with all these things, then they will also be able to benefit from these things. So these are the recent cases solved. Like this, many cases comes of online gaming, of cyber extortions, of cyber emailing, so it's like this thing is, and this forensic science is not for forensic science people. If you think for a mere degree you want to get into, this is not a science thing. This is science for a common people, science of common science. Everybody needs. सबको चाहिए. We all can get prey of crime any day. Yeah, our relative, yeah, my mother, my father, my son, my husband, my friend. So this is need of an hour for everyone, right? Okay, now coming to conclusion, let's sum up all. And if we talk about a nutshell, this incident management is an essential part of cybercrime, right? So every incident comes across 4 distinct stages. That is reporting stage, recording with classification action, initiation, and appropriate level, and finally verification of adequacy and efficiency of the action taken. These all these stages where we keep a chronological order of reporting, sampling, preservation, and keeping. This acts as a very important to a breakthrough, important case solving and all. Then talking about a way forward with the ever increasing cyber crimes and usage of latest technologies, it has become quite common and expected to. The digital evidence available in some unseemly gadgets like wristwatches, your sunglasses, your chota keychain, small keychain, etc. Since spywares are getting smaller and smaller with very high capacity to record the data, high resolution pictures in a very clean and calm manner कि सामने वाले को पता भी नहीं चले. So as a forensic expert and for law enforcement agencies, it has become difficult to store and retrieve these things. But for that, we need to have a proper chain of custody of such digital evidences, and for that many important tools are available to us. One day if you're going to live show, I'll show you these tools, how to use these tools also, and how you're using these tools to detect crimes and everything. Some other day we're going to for sure meet. If you all want, we'll meet and we'll demonstrate that also. Or someday you visit our lab, Dr. Forensic Federation. I'll share you the address. You all are most welcome over there. You can come and have a live session of how we are doing it, and whatever I said today, you can relate everything there, right? Then there must be proper chain of custody of such digital evidences, ensuring non-temporability and presentation in acceptable manner in the court, where you can prove where there is no question mark on the credibility of your investigation and putting things in the right manner and chain of custody, right? For this, a scientifically proven and technologically sound method of evidence capturing and preservation is must. And there are many risks associated with cybercrime management involving every stage of incident management, right from the stage of reporting up to the stage of presentation in a court of law, in event of a legal suit. So this chain of custody, reporting, sampling, restoring, and putting things in a proper channel is of utmost importance. If you are going to stay alert, if you're going to stay very inquisitive and suspicious, and you become a private book for everyone, I don't think so there's any need of you bragging about your trips, your visits on social profiles. It is not important for you to put every profile of your. There was a time, I would like to share my experience in my family. My father was a journalist. He has gone heavenly abode, but he launched Hindustan Times in Lucknow. And in his press world, everybody knew that Mr. Mishra has daughter, but they never saw me. So it must be surprise to you all, but it was a matter of pride for us. कि सबने हमें नहीं देखा. So be a very, a precious gem to everyone. Be a very private diary to everyone. जो आपको जानना चाहते हैं वो जानेंगे आपको, आपसे मिलके आपको जानेंगे. What is the need कि you need to brag your things and to show off your things? देखो, there are few things which you cannot ignore, like digital cash, moving into digital India and doing cashless economy. These are inevitable things. You cannot run out of from things. But at least portraying yourself and keeping yourself private, that is completely in your hands. So my dear friends, I'll be very happy if after this lesson you learn a lesson and become, especially girls, I would like to request you all to be a precious gem, be a diamond. Not everybody can afford you. Be that private diary that everybody wants to know you, but you're not readable at all. So stay alert, stay safe, and be a good citizen of India. That's all, my friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vijaya. It was very nice and informative session. We have certain questions from participants.
Sure.
Let me ask one by one. So the very first question from Priyanshu Singh is, if we use normal charging cable, which has only 2 wires of charging out of 4, don't has data sharing wire, by this juice jacking be skipped?
It depends where you're using this cord. It depends where the port has been installed. If you're using it in a port which has been installed in some airport or some railway station, the key loggers and all those encrypting and cryptographic passwords, those things are available over there. The moment you use that charging cable, it's not about charging cable. It's about the port, my friend, which is available for everyone. If it is available for everyone, you can understand it is available for the hacker also and for the criminal also to make you pray out of it.
Yes. The next question is it possible to hacker to delete digital footprints or create fake footprints to misguide the rescue?
Yes, it is always possible. Like you can create, and it happens in many cases where you want to create a different picture of the crime scene, where you want an investigation officer to think in another level that what would have happened. They'll create some fake browsing history where an investigation officer is going to bifurcate from his thinking, because we totally depend upon the circumstances to capture the story. So definitely they can create, but permanently you cannot delete unless and until you are trained or you're using a very high profile softwares which are available only with the law enforcement agencies and to the government officials, to intelligence and to CBI. Those people are having those high profile software with which they can delete everything permanently, and you cannot have a track out of it. Yes. Next
Okay.
question.
Next question is, which type of risk involved in using physical keyboard over virtual keyboard, if any?
Acha, yeah, definitely it is. Suppose you are using your friend's system. I mean, let me give you an example. I am living in an hostel in medical college, and somehow my system got disrupted. There was some problem in my system. my parents called me up and said ki Vijaya, please pay this Airtel bill, and if you're not going to pay, it will get disconnected. So in happen hazard, what I will do, I'll ask my roommate, please can you give me your laptop? I want to do some payment. Then if my laptop, if my roommate is having a malicious intent, in that case, that my roommate is going to, if she's having some keyloggers or she's having some malicious intent, the moment I will use this physical keyboard, my credential, my PIN, my CVV code, everything will be with her very soon, the moment I leave the laptop, right? But if and same thing happens if you're using an open Wi-Fi network. When you're using an open Wi-Fi network, if you're going to use a virtual keyboard, then you'll be pretty more safer than people who are using a physical keyboard. Thank you. Next question.
Next question is, does hacking and blackmailing go hand in hand?
Yeah, this is like a step-by-step process. The moment you hack for a reason, and that reason can be blackmailing, it can be cyber extortion, it can be for money, it can be to defame you. So hacking is the first process, and for what you are doing it, that is the reason, cause and the reason. Thank you. Next question.
Next question is, everything that happens on the internet should be analyzed by the public security services. Why?
Because you don't know with what intent a person is operating a system. Suppose today we are doing this workshop with a very good intent, right? But there must be people who are doing or who are training other peoples for malicious intent. So in case if they have a fear that there is some security check, some public check, then they will try to avoid these things. And even students or if amateur youth who's trying to try their hands in ethical hacking or something, they will have a fear that they'll get trapped, and because of those consequences they'll try to avoid all these things and they won't commit a crime. Yes.
Yes, some participants are asking for some forensic tools for practice.
For practice, okay.
Yes.
There are Pandora recovery softwares. Then Encase tool also can be available. If you want, we will make you available. And there are many tools, recovery and ShortUp and Premisal. These are the softwares which are available, but they won't be available to you as such. You will be needing some forensic, if you collaborate with some forensic lab, then for sure that will be available to you as a student, or you can have a 3 days or 4 days hands-on session in a workshop and we can, आप रूबरू हो जाएंगे उन सॉफ्टवेयर से, आपको चलाना और उसको समझना आ जाएगा जी.
Next question is, on observing the current situation, we can clearly conclude that online learning can be act as boon for education system. But the advent of online learning now has created the medium of cyberbullying in the virtual classroom or virtual networks. So what policies of training you would suggest to be taken for such cases, and how anyone should react in such scenario?
Okay, now very good question, and a very question which is like troubling me also these days. I have a 3.5 years old kid, and everybody in my family is pressurizing me to get him admitted in some school. And I'm like, no, I don't want my child to study online or something, because first of all, I understand he's very notorious, he's very fugitive, he cannot sit. How he'll be able to concentrate? And it seems to be me cruel from parents point of view. इतने छोटे बच्चे को system के सामने बिठाना, it's too early actually. So this worry goes with every parent. But what to do if you are not going to? This is also like Corona hasn't left us with any option. If you're not going to study this way, then you will be lagging behind. You have future to go. You have people to become. Maybe those who are having a workshop with me, क्या पता अंकित फाड़िया हो इनमें से कोई, क्या पता कोई आईबी का ऑफिसर से मैं इसको सिखा रही हूँ, क्या पता कोई किसी पद्म विभूषण को मैं आज अभी पढ़ा रही हूँ जो फ्यूचर का होगा. But for that, my friend, we need online studies. हाँ, how we can save ourselves is like by being very serious. अगर बच्चे हैं जो classes ले रहे हैं, for them parents need to be very particular that whatever system you're using, have a parental control over that. You have all the cell phones and systems with parental controls. Try to install those parental controls so that child doesn't go into that. Secondly, most important thing, try to install all the system in a common area. Don't give privacy to your child. I don't think so. Privacy is something which is needed after marriage, not before marriage. So before, this is very important aspect. Your child must be in front of you. Whatever system they are using or whatever thing they're using, it must be in the some common area where each of the family member can have an eye. Ki what child is doing. See, suppose my child is trying to bully the other one. This way also I'll be keeping a watch at what he's doing. Then how to react? It's like being very calm towards the situation and being very friendly towards your child. With increasing cybercrime, you need to be very friendly with your child and not, in this way, positive parenting comes in light. You have to be very positive and you have to give a positive information to your child. You see, beta, if you're in trouble, I'll rescue you. I'll be your savior. I won't scold you. We'll find out the solution to your problem together, and you follow a proper protocol. Go to your nearest cyber cell and inform and get those things reported. Stay calm and stay friendly with your children. And children also, if your parents are being friendly with you, you need to owe them a good attitude towards all these things and follow internet etiquettes. Yes, next question.
Yes, next question is IMEI is unique, which is used for tracing. Recently, I came to know that there is a feature phone on which we can change the IMEI. How is that possible?
It's like when I started my workshop, I told you we develop anything with a very intelligent mind, but we have, a very destructive mind, black hat hackers towards who have, looks for a vulnerability. They have some those softwares, but again, in forensic world, we have softwares to detect the tampering of the IMI number and to detect whether it is false or it has been tampered. So yes, it can be done, but we have measures to track them also.
Yes, the next question is there any method by that we can secure young children by which they cannot get fake emails, SMS, or can't access forbid things?
As I told you in my previous questions, every cell phone has a parental control. So parents need to be very particular that they are putting parental controls and they are making a proper channel. कि बच्चे क्या चीज access कर सकते हैं and people cannot like access what cannot access. And then you need to be very much attentive towards what your child is seeing. Secondly, don't allow them to do online shopping unless and until they are mature enough, and always make them be your friend. सबसे अच्छा solution ये होगा, be a friend to your child so that he discusses with you everything. Like I discussed with my mother-in-law ki ma, I want to buy this thing. Should I go for this? Then she's like, no, this is not durable or something like that. So we discuss like this. Same if we are going to discuss everything. See, our elders might not be very much technophobe, but they have experience. That experience is countless and it's very expensive, and which is more than these technical freakies. So if we'll be under your shadow of our elders, we will be totally protected from all these things.
Yes, one or two more questions because we have lots of questions. So
No problem.
because
Sir,
of
no
time
problem.
constraint, I will take one or two questions only.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So, the next question is what role ISP plays in cybersecurity, Internet Service Provider?
Internet service provider plays as an identification protocol at the time of investigation any crime. Suppose some email bombing has been done, or some fake emails has been sent, or wishing a phishing attack has been done, or SMS spoofing is being done. This internet provider will act as a address or as a source from where we can get exchange of from this thing started or from this thing end. So basically it helps in the evidence collection.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
There are too many application and software preloaded on our phone and laptop, which are of no use and we cannot uninstall them. How much secure are they?
See, it depends how much information they are taking from you. Like, see, these TikTok and all these apps, they were taking location accessibility from you all. So you need to draw a line from the apps where you need to see a feature which is just recording your song. and asking you for your location. Why? A feature who is just a karaoke sort of and trying to record a song of yours or creating a good voice of yours or some sound effects, why does it need location? So you need to develop again a very suspicious mind. You have to be suspicious towards everything. Draw a big question mark towards everything. Why I should share these things with? Then you will be able to find out what apps you must use. Then the apps which are installed in your cell phone or in your laptop, which you don't use and it can install, they might be default apps which comes with your system, and it may be of importance to some other people, but make sure that you don't give permission of your location everywhere. This is completely in your hand. This way you can keep yourself secure.
So the last question, Vijaya. Combining all the information with one Aadhaar number, including bank accounts, PAN card, etc., is it a good idea from the point of cybersecurity?
See, from cybersecurity, it is a vulnerable thing, but it is good idea from the way of identifying a person. Basically, it was created with a motive of creating an identity of a person with all the informations intact. Like, see, presently, kya hua? COVID vaccine, after soon people got vaccinated, they were bragging about their certificates, vaccine certificates, and they were putting down all the status. Vaccine certificate is important. Government put it important. Why? Because you need to travel across and you want to make sure that this fala and fala person has got vaccinated. It was created with this motive, but people who wants to misuse is what they will do. And all those stupid people who are sharing, sorry I'm using the stupid word, but please, you are not smart enough if you're sharing all your credentials. Have you ever seen Aadhaar card and PAN cards in your status? Then your vaccination this certificate is not other than your Aadhaar card. Your Aadhaar card information is there, and you're bragging it in your social media and not hiding your credentials. So government created it with an intention of creating a strict line of vaccinated and be non-vaccinated. But if you're going to not keep it safely, of course, it is a vulnerable loophole for cyber criminals.
Thank you so much, Vijaya, for taking such an informative lecture. And I'm quite sure that participants must have benefited with this lecture. The participants are requested to remain connected with us for the valedictory session. Today, we have with us one of the pioneer of the computer science field, a great academician, Professor P.S. Grover, sir. Now I request Dr. Arman Rasul Faridi, Associate Professor of the Department of Computer Science and co-coordinator of this event, to introduce today's guest in front of participants. It is over to you, Arman, sir.
Okay. Am I audible? Just give me a clue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
That's great. Thank you, Dr. Professor. Well, the time has come to draw a curtain to our program as we come close to it. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you in the valedictory session of the online workshop on cyber security and digital forensics. I'm Arman Rasul Faridi, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, AMU, and co-coordinator of this workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, last 5 days, we have had a deep insights into several aspects of the issues and challenges involved in cyber security and digital forensics. We had participants from local, national, and international levels. We had resource persons from various premier institutes of India who enlightened us with their vast knowledge and rich experiences. I personally thank them very much for sparing time and for sharing knowledge. Now, following the traditions of AMU and to formally start the session, I like to call upon Dr. Faisal Anwar, Assistant Professor of the Department of Computer Science, AMU, to recite few verses from the Holy Quran. Over to Dr. Faisal Anwar.
Thank you, Arman, sir. I'm reciting one verse from Holy Quran, that is from chapter 30 and verse number 22. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآيات للعالمين. And the translation of this verse is, and among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth.
Hello.
And
Hello. Okay. Okay, Dr. Faisal Anwar, carry on.
Yes, can you hear me?
Dr. Faisal, you are not audible. Yes, you are now audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Repeat, please carry on.
Okay. Thank you, Arman sir. I am reciting one verse from Holy Quran, that is verse number 22 from chapter number 30. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآيات للعالمين. And the translation of this verse is, and among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth and the difference of your tongues and colors. Surely in this there are signs for the persons having knowledge. Thank you, and it is over to you, Arman sir.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Faisal Anwar. Ladies and gentlemen, I now take this opportunity to welcome the dignitaries we have with us as guest, today's resource person, Ms. Vijaya Tiwari. In this session, I extend a warm welcome to her. Also joining us, all the teachers of the Department of Computer Science, AMU, Professor Tamanna Siddiqui, coordinator of this event, and also our beloved chairperson of the Department of Computer Science and convener of this event, Professor Asim Zafar. I welcome them all. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome our chief guest this evening. He is a very senior teacher having 40+ years of teaching and research experience in the area of computer science. He has been professor and head at the Department of Computer Science, University of Delhi. He has also worked as professor and head at Punjabi University, Patiala. Currently, he is serving as Director General at Guru Tegh Bahadur Institute of Technology, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi. He is a brilliant researcher and a renowned scholar who has traveled widely and delivered invited lectures in reputed national and international conferences, seminars, and symposia. He is a highly experienced person and an able administrator as well. Ladies and gentlemen, a meek and a humble person, Professor Pritam Singh Grover. It is indeed an honor and privilege to have him with us today. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science, I welcome to you, sir, to this inaugural session. May I now call upon Professor Asim Zafar, Chairperson, Department of Computer Science, AMU, and the convener of this event, to please address the audience. Over to you, Professor Asim Zafar, sir. Professor Asim Zafar, sir. Am I audible to you? Over to you, sir.
Am I audible to you, Dr. Rahman?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rahman Rasool Faridi. Respected Chief Guest of this evening, Professor P.S. Grover Sahab, Director General of Guru Tegh Bahadur Institute of Technology, Guru Gobind Singh, Indraprasth University, Delhi. Eminent resource person, Ms. Vijaya Tiwari, and all other resource persons of this workshop. Professor Tamanna Siddiqui, coordinator. Dr. Arman Rasool Faridi, co-coordinator of this workshop. Dr. Faisal Anwar and Dr. Muhammad Nadeem, moderators of the technical sessions. All the esteemed faculty members of the Department of Computer Science, distinguished guests and participants. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to all of you. It's my great pleasure to welcome all the participants to the online valedictory session of 5 days online workshop on cyber security and digital forensics. On the behalf of the Department of Computer Science, Aligarh Muslim University, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this valedictory session. With an aim to update the skill set of the students, fresh industry recruits, alumni, researchers, and faculty members, and make them aware with the importance of this most trending skill and introduce them with the current status of the cybersecurity and digital forensic related knowledge, the Department of Computer Science, AMU, has organized a 5 days online workshop on cybersecurity and digital forensics during 26th to 30th August 2021. Sir, this is the third workshop of the series the department has started with an aim to keep the students and faculty members well abreast of the upcoming knowledge, tools, and technologies related to computer science and IT. Besides workshops, the department is also conducting webinars on several contemporary topics on regular basis. Albert Einstein once said, curiosity is more important than knowledge because curiosity leads to learn more. We would consider our efforts successful if this workshop has raised the curiosity among the participants to learn more. Given the constraints, the esteemed resource persons have tried their best to make the participants acquainted with the central theme of the workshop, that is cybersecurity and digital forensics. Hope the participants might have been benefited by interacting with the learned resource persons. This workshop proved to be the meeting ground for the industry professionals, teachers, researchers, and students belonging to diverse disciplines. Dear friends, we are fortunate enough to have Professor P.S. Grover Sahab with us this evening, who is an eminent speaker, computer scientist, educationist, great academician, and a successful administrator with more than 40 years of experience. Professor Grover has a long association with Aligarh Muslim University in general and the Department of Computer Science in particular. We have been continuously benefited from his rich and varied experiences, and he has been just like a guide and mentor to us. I feel honored to express my sincere appreciations to Professor P.S. Grover Sahab for his continuous encouragement, guidance, and support, and sparing his valuable time to grace this occasion. I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Sir, more than 1,000 participants have registered for this workshop, out of which there are 58 industry professionals, 242 teachers, and around 685 students. Further, the participants are not only from various parts of India, but from all across the world. We have participants from 23 different states of India, besides participants from various departments of Aligarh Muslim University. International participants from Bangladesh, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Pakistan have registered in this workshop. 222 participants are from AMU, while 764 are from other institutions. Participants from in all 162 different institutions have shown interest in this workshop. I on the behalf of the Department of Computer Science, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, extend all the participants a heartiest welcome to the valedictory session of this workshop. On the behalf of the Department of Computer Science, we sincerely promise you that in the coming months too, we will keep on organizing such capacity building workshop, training programs, and webinars on related topics and upcoming fields of knowledge with some more innovative ideas to nourish your mind, brush your skill sets, and fill you with more knowledge. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome eminent speakers who have spared their valuable time to give the lectures, especially Dr. Manju Khari from JNU, Mr. S.H. Abbas Mehndi, Director, STPIP Bhopal, Mr. Bipin Gupta, Director, Unit Labs Private Limited, Moga, Punjab, Dr. Karan Singh from JNU, and Ms. Vijaya Tiwari, Executive Director, Tathya Bing Federation, Noida, who have vast experience of managing the security aspects of the network devices and information. I appreciate their valuable time and efforts and warmly welcome to the valedictory session. This online workshop could not have been made possible without active involvement of Professor Tamanna Siddiqui, coordinator of this online workshop, who envisaged the idea of this workshop. I admire her efforts in this regard, and I extend a hearty welcome to Professor Tamanna. Dr. Arman Rasool Faridi, co-coordinator of this workshop, deserves special praise for his remarkable efforts in publicizing the event and taking care of the registration process. Dr. Faisal Anwar and Dr. Muhammad Nadeem have done a wonderful job as moderators of the technical session. I appreciate their efforts and extend a warm welcome to all of you. In the end, I appreciate the cooperation of all the faculty members, staffs, technical team, and all other persons who provided necessary support in organizing this workshop. I warmly welcome all of you once again to the valedictory session of this workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Rahman, and over to you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your very informative address. Ladies and gentlemen, as a sign of gratitude, I would now request our chief guest, Professor Pritam Singh Grover, to give away the certificate of appreciation virtually to our esteemed resource person today, Ms. Vijaya Tiwari.
Mr. Jishan, please, the certificate, please. Mr. Jishan.
Thank you, Mr. Zishan, and thank you so very much, sir. Mr. Zishan, you may please stop this presentation now. Ladies and gentlemen, I now very humbly invite our honorable chief guest this evening, Professor Pritam Singh Grover, to please address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Arman Rasool Faridi, for the kind words, and Professor Zafar, head of the department, for the kind words you mentioned. I'm really thankful to you, all of you, for inviting me. Now, I would say good evening to all. And I'm not able to talk to your Vice Chancellor, Honorable Tariq Mansoor, Vice Chancellor of AMU, Professor Muhammad Ashraf, Dean, Faculty of Science, Professor Asim Zafar, head of the department, Professor Tamanna Siddiqui, coordinator of the Faculty Development Program on Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, and all experts who have contributed to various sessions of cybersecurity. By having cybersecurity sessions on cybercrime, cryptography, algorithm, and digital forensics. I really appreciate your contribution to this, and I'm thankful again for inviting me for this. Now, before I start this thing, I wish to place on record my homage to Professor Z.A. Khan. He was a close friend of mine, a very nice worker. So I wish to compliment, because when I used to meet him, he would always look for something new which can be started in the department. So I had suggested, Professor Khan, why don't you start a course on cybersecurity? And he worked hard on this. Professor Tamanna Siddiqui, both of them contributed to this. And I'm happy to note down that you are starting a course on MSc in cybersecurity. It's going to be a great contribution to the knowledge, to the welfare of the students, university, and the national level. So, though Professor Z.A. Khan is not among us, but I wish to pay my homage to that person who was so hardworking and contributed to the development of the department. So my homage to him and best wishes to his family so that they stay happy and inshallah they grow in their career. Now, this is a program which is the need of the hour, because internet is all pervasive and our relationship with internet is very deep. Back in the 1990s, the only thing we had to worry about was our email. Then we started online financial transactions, banking, and now our smartphones are widely connected with several internet-based services. We use Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social media, and in fact, our whole life is online, and we are always being tracked. Our entire browsing history is stored in our ISPs, tracked by social media apps and perhaps other advertisers also. Even our IoT devices in our house or the wearable devices that we wear may be reporting on us. So keeping things private is a highly challenging task in the present times. Security of data and information is of paramount importance for everyone. That is why study of security and integrity aspects of information and data has assumed tremendous importance, and the consequence of that is that there is a lot of effort being devoted to train our youngsters, to train our future generations in managing the internet, in managing the security aspects, and so on. Now, computer cybersecurity involves the application of various technologies and sciences and control to protect systems, networks, programs, devices, data from cyber attacks. It aims to reduce the risk of cyber attacks and protect against the unauthorized exploitation of system, network, and technology. India is one of the top 3 countries in the world as far as cyber attacks are concerned. Cyber crimes are increasing, and attribution of this is a very difficult task. Cyber criminals have also started taking advantage of the dark web. The dark web is a hidden collection of internet sites which is only accessible by a specialized web browser. Dark web is used for keeping internet activity anonymous and private, which can be helpful in both legal and illegal application. While some use it to evade government censorship, it has also been known to be utilized for highly illegal activity. So taking care of securing from these attacks becomes a paramount importance. The global pandemic has followed cyber criminals to attack more. Cyber crimes in India during the global pandemic have gone up by almost 500%. Also, there are emerging threats from new technologies like drones and IoT devices. The onset of the pandemic resulted in heavier dependence on technology, coupled with a deeper adoption of interconnected devices and hybrid work environments. This renders us more digitally vulnerable than even before. Indian government data recorded more than 1 million cybersecurity cases in 2020 about 3 times more than the previous year. Now, cyber attacks jeopardize national security by accessing sensitive government and other national infrastructure data. Last month, in fact, in July 21, hackers pulled down the two-factor authentication system used by the Indian government to secure its email network, thrice compromising the emails of many government officials. Though, unfortunately, those behind the attack and the modus operandi are yet to be found and confirmed. That highlights the importance of the studies of cyber security as a discipline and training of students. Now, we witness data breach on incident every month. The onset of 2021 witnessed some government website leaking COVID-19 lab test results of thousands of Indian citizens. In April 21, a million credit card records and details of 180 million pizza orders were taken, including customers' name, phone numbers, and email addresses were hacked. While these are some of the known cases, the real number, mostly unreported, may be difficult to find out, and they are in fact very large. Now, in order to face this situation, we are living in internet age, we are going to live in internet age, but the challenges that have come before us are numerous. In order to face this thing, see, now we have come up with the special studies in forensics, which is an interdisciplinary area of study to investigate and detect crime or examine evidence that might be presented in a court of law using scientific methods and theories. Now, forensics involves many things. For example, it could be computer forensics, cyber forensics, digital forensics, system forensics, web forensics, network forensics. That means there are so many aspects which needs to be investigated and understood and protected from the hackers, that the area is unlimited and so vast. As technology is being adopted on the wider and wider scale, these challenges go on increasing. See, in computer forensics refer to the investigation of data and information on computers. Digital forensics include not only computer, but also any digital device such as digital networks, cell phones, flash devices, digital cameras, and so on. So the area is so vast and requirement is so huge that every contribution that is made by individual or by the institutions is very much required. Now, forensic science is an ever-evolving field. New challenges arise for forensic investigators as cyber crimes grow in frequency and complexity, and hardware and software advances. So as the hardware advances, we are seeing they are advancing so fast, the nature of the crime is also becoming more and more complex, and the understanding is also something which needs a lot of effort, a lot of studies and investigation. So this brings in an issue that forensic science is a top growing field that has many diverse employment opportunities for our youngsters. So the forensic computer analysts are responsible for analyzing digital and computer-based information for forensic evidence. These individuals process large amounts of data to find specific items on behalf of their organizations. Tasks performed by a computer analyst may include handling computer hard drives, storage devices to analyze user patterns, using different computer programs to recover information from destroyed media devices, and preparing detailed reports after running a computer analyst software application, among others. Now, this is very beautiful because to do all these things, we need a variety of skills. See, these are highly complex, and the skills needed may be familiarity with the various relevant technologies, cloud technology, data storage technology, so digital storage devices, computer operating systems, computer programming, malware types, ethical issues regarding data, legal issues regarding data, ability to learn new things, because these are so dynamic fields, things are changing so fast that our students or we as teachers have to be always in the learning mode. So ability to learn new things, analytical thinking capabilities, critical thinking, communication skill, problem solving skills, and so on, which implies that to become a digital forensic, let's say, even if expert, one has to very wide areas of learning, very wide areas of skills which are required, indicating that for every department who undertake the responsibility is going to take up this multidisciplinary subject, and the rewards are going to be very high. Here, not only government promotes it, there the industry promotes it. There are going to be a lot of consultancy opportunities, like the civil engineering facilities, the computer cybercrime, and the forensic application, digital forensic application will have wide variety of consultancy opportunities. So in a way, I'm very happy that AMU has started this thing. This will develop not only the students, but it will force the faculty also to learn new things, to implement new things, and bring a lot of knowledge for the university with the help of the consultancy, interaction with the society, interaction with the industry. Now, computer forensic jobs can take on a variety of titles and responsibilities. Also, the computer forensic salary can vary depending on the specialty they work on, and it varies between 5 to 6 lakhs per annum, which is a very good opportunity for the youngsters who come out from this course from your MSc. For example, there is a job of information security analyst, computer system analyst, malware analyst, information technology auditor, forensic computer analyst, security consultant, and so on. So there is a whole plethora of jobs. Like say when a database was started, there were so many new jobs came before us. So with this thing, and in fact with the cybersecurity and digital forensic, coupled with AI and machine learning and deep learning technique, the next, let's say 10 years, will give a very huge boost to knowledge creation, to job creation, and so on. Now, at the national level, while threats emanating from cyberspace are well known, ironically, at national level, we still do not have strategy which lays out the guidelines on how to tackle them. So that means there is a lot of big opportunity. There is no formal essential framework to protect critical information infrastructure and other national assets. The National Cybersecurity Policy released by the Government of India in 2013 had laid down several strategies to counter security threats from cyberspace. Which 8 years have passed, limited implementation has taken place, only limited, and our country remains among us the most targeted nation. However, there seemed to be a light at the end of the tunnel for India. Before we embark into the 2022, India would have been presented with a national policy on cybersecurity by the Department of Electronics and Information Technology. This will open a plethora of projects which AMU can cash on, and there is going to be a lot of money. Let me share it with you. Every university which comes forward for the projects in this area is getting minimum 5 to 10 crores. So these are the opportunities which your department is going to avail of. A National Cybersecurity Strategy 2020 is being formulated by the National Cybersecurity Coordinator at the National Security Council Secretariat. The government has already shared its vision to ensure safe, secure, resilient, and trusted cyberspace through this strategy that would serve as a guideline to manage data as a national resource, build ingenious capabilities, and cyber audits. To this, AMU can contribute tremendously And this workshop is going to expose the students, the participant, the faculty to the technologies which are relevant to this. And I, again, at the end, must compliment the entire staff of computer science department and the university for taking an initiative and start having this development program and starting a program on MSc in cybersecurity. With these few words, I thank every one of you once again. Good evening. Yes, Professor Rahman Rasoodi.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your influential message. Your words were really full of enthusiasm and valuable knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon Dr. Tamanna Siddiqui to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, Dr. Tamanna Siddiqui.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected and most distinguished chief guest of the day, Professor P.S. Grover sir, esteemed chairperson, Professor Asim Zafar sir, very energetic speakers, my dear colleagues and participants. Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening to all of you. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard, directly and indirectly, to make this online workshop, Cybersecurity on Digital Forensics, successful. First of all, my sincere thanks to Almighty God for making this workshop a grand success. By His blessings and grace, we are able to make the event what it was. I express my sincere gratitude.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Tamanna.
I express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, patron of this workshop, for providing us all possible supports. I'm extremely thankful to our Dean, co-patron of this workshop, Professor Muhammad Ashraf Saab, for providing the perfect logistic support and guidance. I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Professor P.S. Grover sir, who spent his precious time for gracing today's valedictory function. Today, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this is definitely encouraging us in our future event. Thank you, sir, for giving very thought-provoking and interesting address. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. We are all inspired by your great words. We have been fortunate to have the eminent speakers from industry, academia, and government sectors. I extend very hearty gratitude to all the speakers, Dr. Manju Khari and Dr. Karan Singh from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, Mr. S.H. Abbas Mehdi from Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Vipin Gupta from Unit Labs Private Limited, Moga, Punjab, and Ms. Vijaya Tiwari from Tathya Wings Federation, Noida, UP. Now I'm going to acknowledge the most important person of this workshop. Yes, I'm talking about the convener of this workshop, our chairperson, Professor Asim Zafar sir, who is extraordinary in all aspects, great leader, motivator, supporter, and overall, extremely good human being. It was really a nice experience to work with him. Sir, I truly acknowledge your goodness. Thank you for providing minute-to-minute support, guidance, and encouragement at every point of time in the organization of this event. For any event, technical support is very important. I extend a sincere thanks to Dr. Parvez Mahmood Khan Saab and his team for their overall support. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated teaching and non-teaching colleagues. I acknowledge contribution of all my colleagues, especially Professor Muhammad Ubaidullah Bukhari sir, Dr. Arman Rasool Faridi sir, Dr. Faisal Anwar, and Dr. Muhammad Nadeem. Thank you, everyone. Finally, I thank the wonderful participants who have turned up in such great numbers, not only from our department, rather also from other departments, universities, states, and countries. The participants were very enthusiastic. Thank you so much for your cooperation. With these warm words, we move to the end of this 5 days online workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to say that we are grateful to all the dignitaries present here. Thank you for being with us in this evening. It's a great pleasure. Thank you all once again. Now I have an announcement that certificates will be sent to you within 2-3 days. Please stay with us for University Tarana, followed by National Anthem. All of you are requested to remain stand during national anthem. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Mr.
Dr.
Jishan,
Tamanna Siddiqui.
Mr. Jishan, you can please play the Tarana. Mr. Jishan.
So on this note, ladies and gentlemen, this remarkable, memorable and knowledgeable event comes to an end. Thank you everybody for your presence. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank